Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And oh my goodness, what is happening? Everything is off. And today, oh, Jesus, we have some things to cover. Some things that should have been covered. Maybe. We have some of those things. What? What happened to the... What? Are we back? Are we back? Yeah, I have no idea what that was. I really apologize. Excuse me. Excuse me. Go back and listen to that. I'll have to do it after the stream. Wow. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know if you guys realized it, but I barely know how to change anything. So I certainly don't like go screwing around with stuff when it's working. So who knows what that was? I apologize. I apologize for that being terrible. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Andrew Baser says, I got the coof. No, I don't. I happened to catch a cold, though. And if you listened to me on Az's stream on Saturday, or if you heard me on Bibble's D&D stream on Sunday, either one of those, you would have heard me much worse off. I'm actually improving pretty dramatically. So, like the president, I'm doing terrific, doing great. Really, this is nothing. This virus it's not even like a virus, really. It's more like just a mental thing that you get over when you're beautiful. Your beautiful doctors, they come in, they tell you exactly, oh, it's just you, Mr. President. Yeah, I just happened to catch a cold. I thought for like a day. I was like, oh God, is this the coof? Is this the coof? Because I would cough and it would hurt, like going down my esophagus or whatever, and it felt like it was moving into my lungs and I was gonna die. But that happened like very briefly. So that's mostly done, and I'm feeling much better today. In fact, I've gone like 8 hours without any Dayquil and I feel great. But I do have some lingering vocal issues and a little bit of a cough. So I do apologize. I'll try and avoid that as much as possible. Okay, today we are talking about dicks in anime. And I don't mean dicks in anime. I mean anime voice actors sending their dicks to everybody on the planet as if, man, all anybody wants to do is look at voice actors' dicks. Listen, you're a voice actor. That's a face for radio actor. You know what that means? That's a penis forever hidden actor. For all anyone cares. No one wants to see it. No one wants to see your dick. Nobody at all. The people who end up seeing it regret seeing it. They're just being nice to you. No, it's not that big. No, it's not so handsome. Everything they've said to you is a lie. Nobody wants to see a voice actor's dick. Ever. 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 I'm pointing that out there. I'm gonna throw that to the wind. I'm just gonna And no, they don't want you to describe how many of their fingers it's probably thick. They don't want any of this. They don't want any of this. So we are going to talk about that. And then if you notice, the next section is not just anime, because apparently it's not just related to anime. But Jeffrey Toobin, I think his name is, he just right on a Zoom call. No big deal. Just, oh, I thought the camera was off. You thought the camera was off? You're on a Zoom call. You're on a Zoom call. You can look at your own screen and see yourself flapping it around. What is this? Like, what was the thought there? How far back is your camera that they can see your dick when you turn it on? Like how? Like what? I'm lost. I'm lost. Look, I'm on camera every day. If my dick was out, like, you wouldn't know because I have the look at, can't even see my nipples. Okay? That's like what? I would have to be like across the room with a camera. Even if I stand up, you can't even come close. There's no. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Welcome to the RGE crew. Thank you. Always appreciate you guys showing up, by the way. Thank you. So anyway. I don't know. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then I figured you guys liked the Amy Coney Barrett hearing stuff. So we'll do a little bit more of that. And then what I've got, I think there's, I got to switch this to live chat. I think there's a way for me to do a poll in the middle of this show. Is there somewhere? Insert ad? No. Live stream settings. There's a way for me to do a poll somewhere. Is this it? No. I don't know. Okay. Is it up here? Why do they? Yes, Heroic Effort has been trying to get in touch with me. Yeah, I've seen his thing, and I've seen his message, and I will attempt to respond to him tonight. All right. Here's the thing. Since I can't figure out how to just put a poll in the chat, and I want to, I'm going to put it up on the community page. But you guys seem to respond really well to the ACB hearing stuff. And since I started watching some of that stuff, my YouTube recommendations have been full of other fun things. Namely, like Scalia's confirmation hearing, Ginsburg's confirmation hearing, debates between Scalia and Breyer, stuff like this. Are you guys interested? And you can answer in chat, but I'm not going to remember or have a good measure of the chat. So I'll probably put up a community poll. Please look for it. That asks if you want to see stuff like that and review it and learn about things like judicial philosophy from these guys and how they do their reasoning. And so it'd almost be like watch parties, but with like Supreme Court justices being pithy assholes to each other. So we'll, it won't be every show or anything, but it'd be something. Especially looking at Scalia and how he reasons through things, because Amy Barrett clerked for Scalia. He was kind of a mentor to her, and she follows his originalist judicial philosophy. So it'll be informative as to how she'll decide things. And he doesn't really seem to have any compunction about saying what he thinks about how rulings went, whether or not they were proper. So I think we'll probably look at that a little bit. Isn't this uncivil laws territory? No, he does current Supreme Court stuff. This is different. This is judicial philosophy. These are interviews. They're not really hearings, in the sense of legal arguments, but they are very interesting discussions and legal arguments about things like the Second Amendment and its scope and how judicial philosophy molds that. So I think, and then you guys can start to figure out your judicial philosophy, how you approach questions, and it might help you understand how other people approach questions, and get their perspective if you want it. Maybe you don't want their perspective because they're scumbags. I don't know. That's how I am. So anyway, I'll put the poll up. If you guys hate it, we won't do it. If you like it, we'll probably do it. I'm also looking to kind of like develop some sort of recurring thematic shows. Obviously, Big Brain Panels are a recurring thematic show. They haven't been as repetitive as I'd like, mainly because it's hard for me to schedule them in, especially, I don't know. I got to schedule them on days when everybody's available, and also when like Drexel isn't here because he's not a lawyer, and Big Brain Panel shows are for lawyers. So I am working on getting the next one, hoping to get as many people on as I can, including Mr. Hook. So that's on the docket. Of course, increasing the roster of lawyers that are on the show that'd be willing to do something like that will help as well, because we can have people rotate in. So, call-in shows. Call-in show with Drexel was a lot of fun. We may be doing, we won't be doing a call-in show this Thursday, because this Thursday is going to be me and Ty on the final presidential debate, which I am already calling shenanigans on the final presidential debate, because they have agreed to mute people when they interrupt someone, which will be junk. Garbage, junk, thank you. It's political ad from each party. Great. Who cares? I want them to be challenged by the other party. That is a debate. If you get to just sit there and go, here's my points, and the moderator is in charge of the questioning, who cares? I don't care what the moderator thinks. I don't care what the other person has prepared. I want them to be challenged on their feet. They have all of this stuff. Like, they do tons and tons of town halls, of speeches, of interviews, and you can get their individual policy positions and individual questions on every one of those things all over the place. What you can't get is them being hammered on by someone else. Guess what happens at every White House press event? They don't necessarily get interrupted, but they get challenged by a reporter. The president is there and he takes questions from the reporters. He's getting challenged. Now, in closed-door sessions with other world leaders or, at various summits that the president may attend, they will get interrupted by people. And I want to know how they handle it. Frankly, from the first debate, I don't think Joe handled it very well at all. I think Trump handled it just fine. And that presence matters. We're picking someone based on their presence. That's who they are and what they're bringing to the table for all of us. So anyway, Ty and I will be covering that debate. I hope you guys enjoy that. This time, I believe I figured out how to balance the audio. C-SPAN's audio is just so dang quiet that we'll probably turn me and Ty way down and advise you guys to crank up the volume from what's normal. Because I can't boost C-SPAN any more than I have, so I'll have to turn us down relative to C-SPAN. But we'll make it happen. We'll make it work. The debate is Thursday, the 22nd. Now, I've been rearranging things in the background. You can see I've removed the statue of me. If there were more space, you could see a little bit more. All the liquor has been removed to make way for more Warhammer stuff. I've got some new books up there. Liquor's been removed back here too, but I got a couple new things I wanted to show you guys. These are the Seth MacFarlane Warhammer figures. This is an Intercessor, Primaris, whatchamacallit, Ultramarine. Pretty sweet. Oh, I'm not going sober. Don't worry. This is the Necron Warrior. These are not toys. It said on the box, not children's toys. I said McFarlane. Did I say Seth? Todd McFarlane. Woo! And then here's the really fun one. This is the artist proof that they did, so you can actually paint them yourself. So I'll be looking forward to screwing that up. So anyway, those are cool. Got those today. They're neat. I'm not going to unpack them on this stream, but I probably will on my other channel. Yeah, it literally said on the box, these are not children's toys. I'm like, well, what the hell are they? I'm just a giant child. So don't tell me. I want the Cadian Officer too. I want the Bandai Salamander and Iron Fist. I got Imperial Fist. I got to get them. Oh, I just had to finish paying taxes. Like DSP, right? Hey guys, I had to pay taxes. But you didn't pay them. But I need to now. we paid you a bunch of money to pay your taxes. Well, I didn't. I mean, I did, but I didn't. So anyway. All right. So I did get, but I also got another thing in the mail today, and I've been instructed to read this letter. Caldy Cat, I open all boxes. Toys are meant to be out. This is from Tim Christ. Tim Christ. This is Mr. Nick Ricada. We present you with the Bronze Knoblar Trophy. This trophy was created originally to award a tournament player who ultimately scored the worst and was meant as a participation award. This trophy was crafted by the finest pewter that Games Workshop could provide, mounted to a high-quality Hobby Lobby wooden base. Representing the worst unit ever created in Warhammer history, the Knoblars from the Ogre Kingdoms. We present this trophy to you as an award for being the best of the worst, or the worst of the best boomers and grifters on the internet. Display this with honor and shame, lots of shame. Thank you for all the great content. We here in Wisconsin appreciate all that you provide. Hashtag doxed. All right, here it is. This is the Knoblar Trophy. It's having trouble focusing because it's so terrible. It's actually kind of cool. It's just a billion little goblins basically fused together. And wolves and stuff like that. So pretty neat. Pretty neat. Anyway, I enjoy it. I will bear it with all the prime and shame simultaneously that I can possibly muster. It looks like melted cheese. Yeah. Pretty much. All right, let's do super chats and then we'll get into this anime dicks everywhere. Oh. Woo! Bad vibes. Says the more of these situations I see, the more I am convinced Vic was a victim and sacrificed to cover their own assets. Any credibility of standards has been destroyed. Someone get the fork. Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks that way. Oh my God. It kind of looks that way, right? Here's the deal. I think we need to come to a very specific understanding. Celebrities are celebrities. And when the celebrity goes to their head, it goes to both heads. Just how it goes. It's just how it goes. And the real issue here is the moral grandstanding that's gone on from all these people. No, it's not the same. right? This guy sent his penis to a minor. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. It's coming just a little bit. He sent his penis to a minor. That's a level of degeneracy worse than pretty much any other. That's just doesn't ever need to happen. But just because this guy is the worst, because he's probably a pedophile, and I mean, who could have guessed? Who could have guessed? I mean, looking at him. No, but it's probably a pedophile. Okay? And now this video is now demonetized. Thank you, you goddamn pedophile. Get on the wall. Get on the wall. All right. You can't even say pedophile without being demonetized by Susan, the pedo protector. Ugh. Just because he's the worst doesn't mean that all of these people aren't ridiculous people. Of course they're ridiculous people. Of course. You had an insular industry, close-knit, of friends. Now that some friends turned on a few of the others doesn't mean that they weren't all friends. They're all guilty of this stuff. All of them. All of them. It's not just, oh man, Ryan Haywood did. It's not just Ryan Haywood. Oh, Adam Kovic. Oh, geez. Well, no one saw that come. No one saw it coming except for everybody they know. Everybody they know saw it coming. All of them. All of them did. And guess what? The Reaper comes for all of you. You've all done it. You've all done it. I've talked to enough convention owners. You're all guilty. You're all guilty of something. Of course you are. You're in a place where people laud their love upon you. And you run around and you get a little drunk. Get a little grabby. You get a little demandy, or you get a little bitchy. Of course you do. You're people. We're wired this way. Stop pretending that you're not that. Stop pretending that you're not this. We all know you are. We get it. We know. Don't touch kids. That's the big one. Don't touch kids. Other than that, don't be a hypocrite. So just shut your mouth. Like, don't go after other people. Because you're the same. You're the same. Yeah, I know. Funimation. Oh, none of this happened. We got policy. Anyway, Michael Tynan says, hey, Nick, what's the best age for Lagavulin, 12 or 16? If so, is the price difference worth it? Looking to send a gift to someone. Look, 16 years is standard. It's very smooth. It's great. 40% alcohol. It's a nice medium. Lagavulin 12, 60% alcohol, and 200% more oily, fiery smoke. If you really like peaty, smoky, harsh liquor, Lagavulin 12 is great and absolutely worth the price. I'm going to have some in just a minute. It's fantastic. It is not a 16, though. 16 is like, I like peated whiskey. That's good. Okay, have a 16. 12 is, I want the whiskey to burn my nut hair off. Have that. All right, those are the two differences. I like the 12, and it's great. Kosk. Hey, what's up, Kosk? New job panned out, so now I can finally pay my dues to the grift lord. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for calling in on Thursday. It was great. Fantastic. Everybody thinks you're lying, but, you know, I liked it. I think you're good. I think you're good. Mithrin Emrys says, it is amusing to watch the senators fumbling about with ACB. With the possible exception of Zodiac Ted, ACB is quite obviously the smartest person in the building, and you know the resistance is token when it's 90% BS, 10% questions. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Bad Vibe says, instead of being VAs go OnlyFans, they will understand why no one wants to see their phallus, even for free. Yes. And we're going to show you. I'm going to show you this guy's picture, and we're going to have a yes, no in chat. Do you want to see his dick? His name is Chris Thurman. Chris Thurman. Where is it? Where's his face? Look at this. This will be a simple yes, no. Where'd we go? Here we are. Look at that. That's the here. There you go. 1 for yes, 2 for no. I haven't seen the chat move that fast in a while, fam. Oh. And may God have mercy on all of the ones. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doing that to you. Oh. Slub45 says, first ever stream of yours I've caught live. Take my money I earned from my job at a burrito joint. You've earned it, Mr. Grift. You're a foul one. Mr. Grift. You're mean and nasty soul. Oh my goodness. You guys can't make me laugh. You can't do it. If you make me laugh, I'm gonna cough. I can control it. I have the power to control the coof if I don't laugh. So no jokes from you, chat. No jokes from you. And no moving at light speed. Thank you, Slub45. I'm really happy to have you here. Thank you for contributing to the show. Sakaki Onsai says, as Bill Clinton, I whip it out, I zip it up again. Just can't seem to keep it down. I whip it out and zip it up again. Can't keep it from going to town. Hoping to get numbers for you on Minnesota 7 this week. Keep eyes peeled. I don't know what that had to do with Bill Clinton whipping it out. Perception check says, oh, that was, I get knocked down, but I get up. Okay, that was the joke there. Perception check says Funimation is oddly quiet. Yes, it is. Funimation is oddly quiet. But to be fair, it took them, approximately 13 days to speak up on Vic. We got to give them time to prepare their well-crafted statement of, my God, put your dick away. That one. Seamus Mowlin says, is it sad I get more knowledge from a trash-talking drunk lawyer than the public education system? No. No, it's not sad. It's great. It's joyous. Dovin Death says, I don't think Trump should do the debate. I'm willing to bet the mod will shut Trump down early while throwing hardballs, while letting Biden ramble for over his time while spoon-feeding him softballs. No, that would be good. That would actually be great for Trump. That'd be great for Trump. Oh, guys, I'm sad to report that the women of Colombia let out a collective wail of sadness today as Drexel was not allowed to go. He was not allowed to travel to Colombia because even though he had a negative COVID test, some 3-letter thing was missing from his COVID test, and the Colombian government had just changed their requirements, so he was not able to leave. Which I think is a travesty. I'm suing the communist state of Colombia on Drexel's behalf. Very lame. Very lame. But he may be back here sooner rather than later, since he's not going to Colombia. No. I don't know. It also snowed here today. He was like, haha, he's making fun of me because he was already down in Atlanta before the snow hit here. And I sent it. I'm like, he's like, oh, it's warm. I'm going to be down where it's warm. And I'm like, yeah, it's snowing here. He's like, what? Really? So I sent him a picture and then he laughed at me. I was like, I immediately got out the voodoo doll of Colombia and I started stabbing and shooting it with shotguns and stuff. Like, you motherfucker, you can't go. Make fun of the snow? No! That's why he doesn't get to go. I actually called the American embassy and said, don't let him in. Don't let him in. The women of Colombia will all try to come back to America with him. And Colombia needs its women. So that's what he gets. That's what he gets. Frankie Ramon says, I'm heated. New Inuyasha series. Yasha Hime. Guess how many episodes before they inject identity trash? Society gender role oppression spouted by 14-year-old character. Guess, that's right. Second effing episode. Whoa! I guessed it automatically. I was literally I hadn't read the whole chat. Wearing guy clothes is freeing. Yay. Perfect. I'm glad to have gotten that guess correct on the fly. Thank you. RW Bimby says, sent dick pic to 15-year-old, but did he go too far and tell a jelly bean joke? Shannon Loudon says, greetings from Australia. Do you consider these actions to be different levels of severity when the victim was a preteen versus a teen? Yes. Also, what are your views when a minor now, but would have been an adult legally a century ago? Look, here's my here's my views on this. Very simple. One, don't send penis pictures to anybody ever. Like, I don't care if it's your wife. Don't do it. It's weird. But it's not illegal, right? That's, not even a social, like, ill. Because if you're consenting adults, I get it. I get that you can consent to it, and that's fine. I say don't, because it's just not my thing. I also think that no one should ever take a picture of themselves naked and transmit it to anybody else for their own security, because anything can happen and that can get leaked. I advise against it. Sending nudes, taking nude photos with something connected to the internet is something I advise against generally as a general principle. That being said, the closer someone gets to the age of majority, the less severe I think it is in a practical sense, right? In this case, the person was 15. That's a little sus, so to speak. That's a little sus. But if the person was 12, that's a lot more sus, right? That's worse. And interestingly, I was listening to a discussion about the death penalty today between Scalia and Breyer, right? And Scalia mentioned that the only existing case law about restricting the death penalty for minors was a long time ago, and it was minors who were 12 or under. The age of reasonability, I think is what it was called. Something like that. But, so once they got over 12, you could kill them with the death penalty. Great. Cool. Death penalty. Boom. 13, too bad. Too bad. So we do make distinctions as they go. And of course, now, like, they've moved it to where you can't kill anybody with the death penalty under 18. Something Scalia disagreed with. But even in the discussion, they're talking about the moral disagreement, or not the moral disagreement, the morality scale of going 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. And people will stratify along those as, okay, when is it okay? So yeah, I think there's different degrees as we approach the age of majority. Like, I'm less concerned that someone has sex with a 17-year-old than someone who has sex with a 10-year-old. I'm just less concerned about that. I still think it's illegal. It should be, if it's illegal in the state, in Minnesota, it's apparently not. But if it's illegal, you should be punished. But I think we should reasonably reduce the sentences depending on the ages. There's different things going on. So yeah, I think there is a difference. Now, as to views about minor now, but would have been an adult legally a century ago. Here's the deal. We have, how do I phrase this? This again, it's great that I listened to this Breyer versus Scalia debate because it's all about the shifting sensibilities of culture. All right? Yes, a century ago, you know, your age of consent was more around the 15 years of age rate. If you go back a millennia ago, you've got 12 and 13-year-olds getting married. You know, Mary in the Bible is alleged to be somewhere in the age of 13, 14 years old, maybe 12, right? Joseph is considered to be a little older, but we've got longer lifespans now than we had then on average. We get to start a little bit later. And so if we take shifting morality in one way, and that's where we say that, okay, we're going to push back your age of consent for everything. This is not just sex, but for voting, for drinking, for smoking. We're going to push all that back to the age of 18 to 21. You know, we're gonna set those back. They want to make driving, you know, driver's licenses age 21. They want to push these things back, right? Smoking, they've made 21 in many states. So we're gonna do that on one scale. We need to recognize that shifted morality, our cultural sense of majority, needs to shift on all scales, because you don't get to just shift morality in one direction on one thing. That doesn't matter. That doesn't make sense. It's inconsistent. Say, well, we think they shouldn't be able to vote by 18, but we're still okay with them consenting to sexual intercourse with an adult by 14. No, that's not how we do things. If we have determined that people's age of maturity or majority or whatever you want to say shifts, then it needs to shift. And if we determine that a century ago we were wrong about what it is, because that's ostensibly what we're saying, right? Well, the age to vote used to be 12, so now we're going to push it to 18 because we thought 12 was wrong. Maybe drinking's a better one. Drinking age used to be 18. Then we pushed it to 21 because we were wrong about drinking age. As a culture, we decided this is wrong. We want it to be 21. We don't get to then then say, well, we thought it was right then, so it should be right now. We've shifted. Now, what we should always do is judge people's actions in the context of the age they're in. So if someone a century ago sent a dick pic to a 15-year-old, and that was the age of consent, great. Go ahead. Like, take your pinhole camera, hold it on your penis for like 10 minutes or whatever, develop it, flap it out, throw it in the mail, have some Wells Fargo horse bring it out and hand it to a young lady. Go for it. Go for it all you want. That's, you know, if you want to do that, I don't mind. That's the time it was. In a similar way, like we can't find injustice in the execution of a 15-year-old 150 years ago for a murder. We may find injustice in it now. We've changed our minds. So that's a long answer to that question, but it was a good point. I just was listening to a discussion about it today, so I thought it relevant. Thank you for the great question, Shannon Loudon. I wish I could stop coughing. CE says, when you're too lazy to shave and can't own up to being bald. Oh, is that? Alan Ravenick says, with Funimation V's, I think it means VA, now coming out as perverts with dick pics, can we finally peg Sabat? No, there will be no pegging. Peg Sabat, Monica, and Jamie with a pineapple, Pulp Fiction style. Oh, God. I hope you get well, Nick. Keep being grifting awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. I will try. Loric Project says, no, Nick, we do not want to see a dwarf's dick. Nova Zero says, yeah, in Lagavulin 9, as if you hate yourself or are an unfortunate soul that didn't get any wise words from the rest of the community. And what the hell is that? No, what the? WTF, Nikki? No. James Spoon says, my God, it's like his hair is escaping his forehead. It's all trying to get away from his penis, actually. It's like, haha, we hide back here. We won't have to look. Bad Vibe says, Funimation statement, put your egos away and don't talk to minors. Woo! And then there are two justice chats here. Malik Foxon says, Ice Cube and 50 Cent advocating for Trump. CNN is beside themselves. Biden campaign ad accidentally left the comment section open and the top 10 to 15 comments are making fun of old scalp sniffer. Man, tonight is a good night. Trump 2020, let's go. Felipe Mube says, hey, Nick, what was Black Boomer going to do here in Colombia? Pro tip, don't come. We were one of the worst countries COVID-wise. You know, I don't know what he was planning on doing there, but I have an idea. It involves smashing some potatoes. Okay. Let's woo. Let's see if I can get the see if we can get this stuff pulled up. We're going to pull up the entire chat log. We'll read through it real quick. I think it's instructive. All right, we're going to read through the chat log. And then we're going to read through his response. His Twitter has nuked. His Twitter, Hiroshima'd, all on its own probably. Just an accident. Javier Miedo. No, I didn't. I didn't miss your thing. I do the $20 ones first, and then we kind of move on. But I'll read yours real quick. It says, hey, Boomer, if you had to choose between having Kamala Harris or Justin Trudeau or Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton as president, who would you choose? I'd move. If that was my choice, I'd leave. Well, I mean, Biden would die, I guess. That'd be fine. I don't know. I hate the I'd leave thing, but God, that's a terrible choice. Okay. Now, thank God, there isn't an actual picture of the penis. So we don't have to actually endure a picture. Thank goodness. No, Breck, I'm not leaving. I was saying if our choice was down to that we'd be in an even worse place than we're in right now. I actually I'm not super keen on all the doomsaying. Like, Drexel's a big doomsayer. He's like a black Glenn Beck in a lot of ways. Like, oh, collapse is coming, civil war, all the women will be prostituted out. I'm not that way. I really don't think things are all that bad. I mean, things are not ideal, that's for sure. But when are they? I'm not big on the doomsaying thing, and I don't think we're at a place of irrecoverability. I think I have a strong belief in the pendulum. I'm stuttering like Biden here. I have a strong belief in the pendulum idea, and that society is about to swing back in the other direction. I mean, I could be wrong. I probably am. It's great, but I'm an optimist like that. All right, so here we go. So Chris is this guy. All right, Chris Thurman. Chris sent a bunch of letters and numbers, and he says, what the F? Oh my God, how do I delete this? I am so sorry. They're on Discord. You can't delete it, Chris, and you know it. Actually, you can. You just click on it and delete it. He didn't do that, though, did he? He didn't actually delete it. Oh my buff. I swear to God, I did not mean to do this. I swear to God, I put my phone in my pocket. What in the world? Okay, I figured it out. Holy shit, I am so sorry. That was not intentional. Come on now. Look, I put my phone in my pocket 100 times a day. I have only sent dick pics on Discord 86 of those times. No, you did not accidentally send this. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. You're a liar. And we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Lying to this child. You're gross. You're a gross man. You're a gross, nasty man. Austin Heartless says, I'm back and I survived having the Rona. Welcome back, Austin. Lol, that's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Could have happened to anyone. Don't worry. That's my, I'm learning the children speak, DW. Don't worry. Remember, this is a child. This is a 15-year-old. Yeah, but it could have been a... Don't know what that was saying. Well, we were having a normal convo, and then bam! Dick. Chris, bam, huh? Yeah, that was pretty random. No real way to prepare for that, lol. I would just think someone would be like, question mark, or WTF, LMAO. That's pretty funny. Wait a minute. Notice what's happening there. This is a subtle transition. This is a predator. Okay? This is a predator. And this is how they do it. This is how they do it. We've all done this in a non-predatory context, right? You throw out the joke, you throw out the thing, but if it catches, right? It's like a fishing line. Like, oh, who wants to go see The Notebook, right? Like, that's ridiculous, huh? Oh, you kind of want to? I mean, I don't really like Nicholas Sparks or anything, but Rachel McAdams is in it. Like, everybody's done this in some fashion. And you recommended Denny's at some point in your life to somebody, and you know that wasn't serious until they said yes. That's what he's doing. This is how a predator does it. This is how a predator does it. Like, I know you wouldn't actually send me something like that, so I didn't want to just make you, I didn't want to make you feel weird. I was just surprised. Oh, yeah, he wouldn't do it. Oh, yeah, sure. Lol, yeah, I see what you mean. Why were you surprised? Did you think I was a girl? Why did he line that out? I know what you mean, Lamau, but wow, haha. Nah, I don't feel weird anymore. I'm just embracing it at this point. I mean, it happened. I can't change that, lol. I just hope you don't see me too differently after seeing, that part of me, lol. Unless it's a good different, Lamau. Nope, haha, I don't see you differently at all. I still can't believe it happened, though. Discord is so weird. Oh, it's weird. Discord is weird. Yeah, I know, right? Discord really trying to put me out there, apparently. Yeah, Discord did it. Discord did it. Look, I assume your dick doesn't have blue fur all over it. Discord isn't concerned. Discord isn't concerned with it. Lol. Sorry to get TMI, but I think we're already there, lol. I think we're already there. Are you familiar with the Overton window concept? The Overton window is where you set expectations like farther and then use that as a leverage point to move your conversation partner somewhere they wouldn't have otherwise gone, right? Like the simple example is, hey, mom, dad, see you later. I'm going out with my friends. I'll be back by 2 a.m. 2 a.m., like hell, you'll be back by midnight. We're not... My corona. Normally, your curfew would be 11. So you say the 2 a.m. thing, and they're like, no. Ooh, we gotta do midnight. They won't cut it back as far. You push it back. Okay. So anyway, I think we're already there. There we go. They've pushed the conversation farther. Doesn't help that it's not necessarily something I'm proud of, Lamau. Made it extra embarrassing at first. I'm honestly not really super down on myself that often. Just I've always thought I wasn't really that big. Where's my gun? Oh, it's in the lake. Guess I'm going there, lol. Guess you are. Guess you're just going there. Gonna take a little stroll down to how big is my penis. Talk with a minor. You predator. You disgusting human. And then the recent stuff, of course. But other than that, I'm okay. Gonna be honest, I've never seen too many of them, so I thought it was okay. God, that sounds so weird. Haha. But really, Chris, don't let that stuff bring you down. There's plenty of great things about you that easily even out the things you may be insecure about. You're too nice. Let me see. There we go. You're too nice. Ha ha ha. And nah, that's okay. You can say that. Thanks. I haven't really measured, to be honest, lol. But like, I don't know. It might be as long as your forearm, wrist to your elbow. And like, it's covered up. Fingers across thick. Lol, I guess that's okay. Give me a moment, please. I just got unreasonably angry. I don't know why. Lagavulin 12 year. All right. Onward, we progress. Secularis says, I agree with your point about Drexel. Doomsayers take comfort in the thought of living in a world where they no longer have to be held accountable for their actions, however horrible that world may be. And don't get me wrong, Drexel's my dude. A very, very, very good friend for a very, very, very long time. And I only hope he's wrong. That's all. That's it. Because I like life. I like living in even a trashy society that lets me exist at least in a rather comfortable way. It could be a lot worse, right? We could be in the Holodomor. I could be trying to get potatoes out of someone else's field until I got shot by the government. James Boone says, from seeing all the news from Funny and Rooster Teeth over the past week, clock reset goes brrr. Reset the clocks, folks. Perception check says someone has earned their helicopter ride. Said, okay, last super chat, but this guy claims he was in a dark place. Can we please talk about how disgusting that excuse is? Oh, we're going to get there. Perception check, we are going to get there. All right. To each their own, of course. I just never understood. Sorry, I'm still pretty young. Well, actually, I guess if I really think about it, I understand. Never mind. Oh, yeah. It's definitely a size thing for sure. Lol. We are always insecure about it. Speak for yourself, homie. Speak for yourself. Yeah. How young are you? Lol, I'm just wondering. Just wondering. I'm 15. Hide your kids. Hide your kids. Take away their internet. Your kids shouldn't be on Discord, by the way. Speaking of things that are adults only, Discord. Discord. Your kids, if you have kids, don't let them have a Discord. Don't do it. Don't do it. Dude, I thought you were like maybe 17. Listen. Listen close. He still thought this was a minor. He still thought this was a minor. P to the Edo. What was P's favorite period in Japan? Edo. Age of consent does not matter for sending nude pictures. 18. 18. Glad I didn't send that on purpose. Yes, you did. And immediately have SWAT teams and cop cars bust through my windows, lol. You did send it on purpose. Yes, you did, Brett. Yes, you did. You tried to fuck him. Lol, you just seem a little older. In a good way. Oh well, happy early birthday. Haha, my dick. Remember, at this point, he knows. At this point, he knows. Yeah, it's definitely a point of insecurity, lol. Like, even when I was with my girlfriend, she would tell me I'm huge, actually. I always just thought she was only saying that to make me feel good, though. X to doubt. So there's almost always something, Lamau, but like, wrist to forearm, that's like 9 inches, right? Yeah, maybe. And 3 fingers thick. Maybe 4 for you. I don't know. I have sausage hands, lol. I think you're okay. I don't know what QUQ means, but I'm going to say cuck. Lol, well, thank you. I guess I can two-hand it now that I think about it, Lamau. He knows this is a minor. He knows this is a minor. And my ex couldn't get past the head of it with her mouth. I always just thought she wasn't experienced though, lol, because that's a thing, I bet. Yeah, maybe. Haha, what's the for? Sorry, I have a habit of gibberishing, lol. Keyboard smashing when things are awkward. Not that things are awkward, just oof, how do I respond? You don't. You should have blocked this guy immediately. Maybe called the police. This is a pervert. This is a pervert. Lol, it's okay. You can just tell me. I won't get offended by whatever, lol. He has, like, groomed this person in one day, and it started by just sending a dick. Ugh! Secularis says, also, what did I walk into? Christ on the cross, Nicholas. Fetch the Flammenwerfer. Sie have Flammenwerfer! This heresy must be purged by the holy fire! You figured it out. It's heresy that can only be dealt with the German methods. Alright, sorry if I get annoying or anything. It just really is a habit. Nah, you don't get annoying, Lamau. Not at all. I just sometimes see it and wonder why you're all squirmy. Ha ha ha. But I guess you just explained. It's awkward. Or whatever would be after the not that things are awkward, just thing. Lol. So, sorry if I told you more than you wanted to know. Ha ha ha. No worries, man. Yeah, and sorry to talk about it more. I swear I'll stop. Lol. But just saying, it was kind of encouraging to hear an outside opinion on it. And it being a good one. Lol. As much as I thought I didn't want that. Lol. Thaddeus? Get the cross. I'm really glad to hear that, and that I could help, even if it's a little bit. Thanks, haha, so are you. You can call me the 9-inch maestro. Okay, done, lol. Lamau, I'll keep that in mind. And thank you. Well, yeah, no problem. And yeah, I measured. I swear I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop talking about it. I measured it. And I'm 8.5 inches long. Doubt. Like 3 inches thick. Huh? Guess you never know until you try. Ooh, I hear that average is like 5.3 inches, so that's good. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Haha, wow. To get off that topic, lol, I wouldn't mind doing another intro outro down the line if you so need. And even like instrumentals, I could do a discounted price for you, maybe. Maybe discounted. How would you discount it? What would prompt the discounting? Now notice this was 8/26. Now we go to October 23rd. Almost 2 months later. Forgive me for thinking this, but I'm curious. This wasn't me, was it? And then it was this person tweeting, this person has a huge range and great vibrato, is protective and affectionate, penis. Sounds so cocky assuming that, but really. I just saw the last part and I was like, lol. I don't think I've shown the second trait too much, so I don't think so. But I was just scrolling and saw that. Oh my god, it's not you. Oh my god. I wouldn't do that. Haha, it's my friend. So-and-so. Lol, okay. I was just making sure because that would have been pretty funny. I mean, it's anonymous, so like it would have been fine. I just remember that whole situation with us, Lamau. But okay, Lamau, nice. He cast the line back. He cast it back. Fishing. Fisher of minors. Lamau, yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Good times, Lamau. Indeed. I'm blown away. A real voice actor. TT, what's it like? A real voice actor. But it's great. I mean, I started doing this in 2009. Haha. That's so cool. It really is. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's quite fun. Hopefully I'll get in a main cast someday. Not anymore. I wholeheartedly believe in you, Chris. Thank you, heart. So yes, a Funimation actor showed you their cock. It happened. Lamau. Man, what an experience. Haha, indeed. Well, I hope it wasn't too bad. Nah, no worries. Okay, haha. I mean, honestly, I've shown it to other friends, like, on purpose, lol. Stop sending your dick to people. Stop it. Stop. What is wrong with you? But that was an accident. Spoiler alert. It was not an accident. Yeah, of course. Although I'm super confused on how it even happened. I trust you. Don't. I wish I knew. Here's how. He went, send picture, cock. That's how. That's how it happened. He didn't like, whoa, cocks everywhere. That's not how reality works. The man is just a predator. Everything after the dick pic indicates predator. Thank you. I will seriously think about it. Bruh, that Chris Thurman dude who sent me his dick wants to follow me. Now, this is them to someone else 2 years later. 2 years later. Still 17, by the way. If she was 15 at the time, still 17. Follower request. Okay. That's the first set. Now we're going to get into oh, there's a couple other things. Oh, these things aren't important. All right. Now we're going to pull up his response. So he was called out here. This is all on the Kiwi Farms, by the way. Thank goodness, because he nuked his Twitter. Kiwi Farms has it all. Screenshotted, archived. It's great. You can find this stuff. Exposing Chris Thurman. Posted the tweet. Chris Thurman at Bebop86. A Funimation voice actor sent dick pics to a minor and then had the dump in there. If we go here, you can see his response. I have no rebuttal. I have no defense. It's all there. It happened. Wasn't an accident. Wasn't an accident. All I can really say is that I'm deeply sorry for how uncomfortable I made them feel. You should be deeply sorry for being a pedophile and for sending your cock out to people. Stop! I was in a very dark place during this time, after a near decade-long relationship ended. Stop! Stop making excuses for being a pervert. Stop it! You're just a perv. That's it. You're a perv. You figured it out. It wasn't because your relationship ended. You're not in a dark place. Look, I've been in dark places all of my life. All throughout it. Various times. We were all teenagers. We all went through shit in junior high, high school, college. We've all been through, like, changing careers, moving, changing relationships. Doesn't matter. The amount of people who randomly send dick pics to minors on accident is just around the percentage of predators that exist. That's it. People don't randomly do this. It's not like damn, I'm in a dark place. You know what I'm going to do? Snap, crackle, cock. No. You're just lying now. Get the gas. Still inexcusable. I had a long stint of doing this. It was not an accident or a dark place. It was just you. You're just gross. Even with old high school friends on Facebook. I have since stopped this and have moved on from that hellish place in my life. All I can really do is take my lashings. I completely understand the disgust towards me. No, one thing you could do is go to prison or walk into the ocean forever. That would work. I'm trying to be a better human every day. No. You are not. You're not doing it. You're just saying it. Everybody has this stupid thing. I'm trying every day, like Ron Toye. Where do you think he got it? You think he learned it from Ron? I wonder if there's some books Ron could recommend Chris Thurman. Oh, I have one. Here you go, Chris. I have a book for you. Right here. Larger Than Life. Defeating the Challenges of Your Giant Penis. There you go. It's a self-help book. It'll help you not send your dick to people. Try that. And then after that, read read The Hammer of Witches and light yourself on fire. Just please don't harass collaborators I've worked with. This isn't fair to them. They didn't know about this. Oh, they knew. They knew. They knew. They knew. They knew. So tired if they didn't know. You had a long stint of doing this. Everybody, apparently. All your old high school friends. Oh, cock for you. Cock for you. Cock over here. Cock a clock. Time to pick a random person on Facebook and just send. I hate liars. I hate them. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. That book? You guys like that book? It was actually, the author sent it to me. I don't know if he still watches. Mark Covern. I don't know if he still watches, but he did. He used to watch the show at least. And he sent it to me. It's great. It's a very funny book. It's a very funny book. Okay. So that's that. Whew. Let me get the next story pulled up here. Where are we? Oh, slightly off. Another person. Another penis. Another person, another penis. Ah, my head. Random headache. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's read a couple of these. Oh, wait, we didn't talk about... Hold on. We kind of addressed. I want to go real quickly back to something. Kind of addressed it. But let's do this. I'm deeply sorry. No rebuttal, no defense. Wasn't an accident. I was in a very dark place. Still inexcusable. It was always inexcusable. Nothing you've said could make it excusable. And again, this is the thing that everybody does when they're caught. When they're caught being who they are. Listen, this is who you are. You can change it. You can change who you are. But don't blame it on a dark place. Don't blame it on the victim. Don't blame it on a dark place. Because this one has a victim. There is no consent. This is just a cock to a minor. Whoa, zany accident. But obviously it wasn't an accident. It never was. It was all just staged. And then the worst part is he kept the conversation going. If it was truly an accident, oh my God, I am so sorry. I've deleted it. Please delete it. I am so sorry. I really didn't mean for that to happen. I don't know how it happened. It did. And I am going to stop talking to you immediately. I apologize. That's it. That's all you can do. You still got a big issue there. But you can tell from the flow of the conversation that it was never an accident. That it was intended to push the window way out the door into the next building and then reel the conversation into a grooming conversation. And that is the nastiness of it. And then we could even have some forgiveness if the moment the person said, I'm 15, he said, oh, holy Christ, and blocked them forever or blocked themselves from breathing. One of the two. Like, if this story ended with a news story of him in a closet being pronounced dead at the scene, like that would have been one way to end the conversation. The other way that keeps him alive would have simply been to just block them forever. Like, whoops. Complete misread of everything. Actual accident. I'm going to shut this down right away. But they didn't do that. They carried on a sexual conversation with a minor after sending them their penis. After finding out from them that they were a minor, carried it on. Kept going. Lol, just really nice to have you be so encouraging. Lol, lamau, lol, WTF, wow. That's not dark place. Look, if your dark place is pedophilia, get therapy. As much of the therapy as you can get. All of the therapy. Check yourself in. Get away from kids. That's not a dark place. That's a real problem. You have become a predator. Go away. Go away from children as far as you can. Move to the mountains. Move where kids aren't. I don't care. Turn off the internet. Get a doctor. Whatever it takes. My humble plea to you. If you are a pedophile, that's not a dark place. That's an ongoing condition that you need help with. You need accountability. You need all sorts of things to make sure you're not harming children. And I'm really, really sorry about whatever circumstance brought it to you. Be it birth, be it trauma, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's unfortunate. That is your cross to bear forever. Forever. And I've had a convicted pedophile on this show. Interviewed him, and he agrees with me. He agrees. That is his cross to bear forever. That's why he has accountability partners. That's why he has, and he says, there is no full recovery. It's like an alcoholic, right? You don't ever drink another drop, ever. Because you'll always be a recovering alcoholic. Same thing. You always have to have people checking you. Always have to have accountability. And again, I'm sorry the circumstances of your life led to you being a pedophile or whatever, but you are, and you're now a danger to children. You are the danger. It is your duty, knowing that you are the danger. It is incumbent upon you. No one else knows. Except your victims. No one else knows that you're a danger. Only you. It's incumbent upon you to set up the safety nets for literally everybody else. Sucks. It's a raw deal. But that's how it has to be. Because kids' safety is more important than your fucking feelings. All right. That being said, is this fucking ads everywhere? Go away. Oh, I gotta get ad block on. I mean, I don't have to get ad block. All right, we're gonna go. The New Yorker suspends writer Jeffrey Toobin after report that ... The online Zoom call in which Toobin, 60, reportedly exposed himself happened last week and included members of the New Yorker as well as WNYC Radio, Vice reported Monday. In a statement to Vice, Toobin said the incident was accidental and he didn't know his camera was on. I made an embarrassingly stupid mistake, believing I was off camera. I apologize to my wife, family, friends, and coworkers. Now this is different. This one's different. This one's a little different. First of all, why is he apologizing to his wife and his family? Friends and coworkers. Apologize to everybody on the call. This one is not Predator. This one's just a dumb. This is just a dumb, okay? Like, there's a big difference between these two. All right? He said, I believed I was not visible on Zoom. I thought no one on the Zoom call could see me. I thought I had muted the Zoom video. You don't mute video, pal. You turn off your camera. You mute the audio. At least they didn't hear the... At least they didn't hear that. The squirt of the Jergens and then the... That's a disgusting sound. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Toobin's rep had no comment when reached by People Monday. The magazine is now investigating the incident, a spokesperson for the New Yorker tells People. Jeffrey Toobin has been suspended while we investigate the matter, the spokesperson said. According to Vice's report, the New Yorker's editor, David Remnick, sent an email to staff about the incident. Can you imagine Can you imagine penning this email? Oh, Dame has a Toobin pic? Oh, no. Oh, no. I'll have to check it out in just a second. Can you... Poor David. Poor David. I gotta send an email to staff about this. Dear all, as you may have read in various news reports today, one of our writers, Jeff Toobin, was suspended after an incident on a Zoom call last week. Remnick's email reportedly said, "Please be assured that we take such matters seriously and that we are looking into it. Best, David." Oh no, related Jerry Falwell Jr. Oh man, the cuckery has brought you in line with the Zoom masturbator. Oh no. Oh. Toobin has also stepped away from his role as legal analyst on CNN, which he appeared on as recently as Saturday. Vice reported, his absence from the network appears to be temporary at the moment. Well, I hope we can get some... Do you know what CNN needs to do? If CNN had any balls that they were willing to fap on screen, they would only have Toobin cover sexual legal cases from now on. As is just. That is just. Because I do... Look. The guy didn't get the technology. And he's like, they can't see me. And this call is boring. So he's like, I'm just gonna. Like, he's just, that's a great mindset. That's fantastic. You're just, okay. So you failed at the tech. We got it. Now, as punishment, you only cover sex law forever. That's it. That's it. You're a resident expert in sex crimes. Forever, this is you. I think that's fair. I don't want this guy to lose his job. I don't care. I don't care that he jerked off in front of a bunch of New Yorker employees. Who cares? By the way, all of the New Yorker employees they're all the same hippie communists as everyone. Oh, free love, dicks everywhere. They don't care. They don't care. They don't need to fire this guy. Pretending that they're not all jerking off on the Zoom calls as well is disingenuous at best. So now, you just make it a joke or a meme. You just bring him out. Look, we've got some sexual deviancy to report, and here's our resident sexual deviant, Jeffrey Toobin, who you may remember pulled his dick out on a live Zoom call and beat off during COVID. Hundreds of thousands of people are dying. Jeffrey Toobin jerking one on camera. On to you, Jeff. That's all you need to do. Forever. It's fine. Who cares? Who cares? Jeff Toobin has asked for some time off while he deals with a personal issue, which we've granted. The man still hasn't nut. He still hasn't nut. They got to get him the time off. He's got to finish before he can come back with a clear head. Toobin has been a writer at The New Yorker for more than 2 decades and has written 9 books. He joined CNN as a legal analyst in 2002. All right, let me see if I can find Dame Pesos' tweet about it. By the way, if you guys see this and you're not subscribed to Dame Pesos, you've got to. You've got to subscribe to Dame. He's great. Let me find him. Whoa! All right. Thank goodness. It's censored, guys. It's okay. It's censored. Look at the reactions. I'm dying. Here we go. He's in the top left. Oh. And I'm as dead. I'm as dead as Chris Thurman should be. Wait, no, this can't be. Is this fake? Someone said this is fake. You heard that was fake? Oh, damn it. No. Oh, man. Oh, if it's fake, that sucks. You know, but I'm going to say something. Even if it is fake, it captures the moment. It captures the moment. Here we go. Let's, here's the update from Dame Pesos. Here we go. This is update. CNN's legal analyst that pull his penis on a Zoom call was CNN legal analyst that pull his penis on his Zoom call was actually masturbating. That's my shitty Dame impression. New Yorker suspends Jeffrey Toobin for masturbating on Zoom call. Call was an election simulation featuring New Yorker all-stars. Toobin apologized for the embarrassingly stupid mistake. I don't know where this is from. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You get the idea. Oh. Ooh. Oh, God. Wait, AOC is going to Twitch? Oh, God. Oh, God. Look at this shit. AOC says, anyone want to play Among Us with me on Twitch to get out the vote? I've never played, but it looks like a lot of fun. End it. And I mean end AOC. End AOC forever. Oh, boy. Oh, it's from Vice. So Vice has the masturbating story. At least it was an election simulation. Maybe, is Toobin Asian? Maybe he thought it was an erection simulation. That was a joke. That was a bad joke. New Yorker has suspended him. Toobin says he did not realize this video was on. Made a stupid mistake. Two people who were on the call told Vice separately that the call was an election simulation featuring many of the New Yorker's biggest stars. Jane Meyer was playing establishment Republicans. Evan Osnos was Joe Biden. Jelani Cobb was establishment Democrats. Masha Gessen played Donald Trump. Andrew Marantz was the far right. Sue Halpern was left-wing Democrats. Dexter Fillikins was the military. And Jeffrey Toobin playing the courts. Oh, it's appropriate. It's appropriate. The courts just jerk off during elections because there's nothing for them to do. Perfect. There are also a handful of other producers on the call from the New Yorker and WNYC. Both people who spoke on the condition of anonymity in order to speak freely noted that it was unclear how much each person saw, but both said they saw Toobin jerking off. The two sources described a juncture in the election simulation where there was a strategy session. The Democrats and Republicans went into their respective break rooms for about 10 minutes. What? Is anyone surprised this guy was jerking off? This sounds like the most boring Zoom call I've ever heard. Ever. What is this? What are they doing? They have a fake election. A fake election. And the fake Democrats and the fake Republicans, there are no real Republicans at the New York. The fake Democrats and fake Republicans went to their fake break rooms for a strategy session during the fake election? What the fuck are they doing? Why are people paid for this? What is this? I'm with Jeff. Well, this is pointless. At this point, they said it seemed like Toobin was on a second video call. Nope, he was on Pornhub. You know it. The sources said that when groups returned from their break out rooms, Toobin lowered the camera. Wait a minute. People on the call said they could see Toobin touching his penis. Toobin then left the call. Moments later, he called back in, seemingly unaware of what his colleagues had been able to see. Simulation continued. Oh no! Guys, it's worse! It's worse! Toobin probably was on a different call. He was on like a thing where you, a video chat. Oh shit, this is way worse for him than I thought. This is way worse for him. He's like, why can't you see me? Oh, your camera must not be working. Bloop, end call. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Why isn't my camera working? Your camera is being used by another app. Close app? Yep. Whatever it is. Oh shit. Hey, by the way, if you're Mrs. Toobin, you happen to see this, I'm really sorry to let you know. Your husband was not just jerking it in the wild. He was probably interacting with another person. Hopefully it wasn't a guy. Oh, no. The New Yorker spokesperson Natalie Rabe says Jeffrey Toobin has been suspended while we investigate the matter. Toobin's Condé Nast email has been disabled, and he has not tweeted since October 13th. He did, however, appear on CNN, where he's the network's chief legal analyst on Saturday. Jeff Toobin has asked for some time off while he deals with a personal issue, which we have granted, CNN said in a statement. New Yorker editor, yeah, email. All right. Wow. Way worse than I thought. Way worse than I thought. So it wasn't just, I'm bored, I'm going to blast one out. I'll just turn off my camera or whatever, and I'll just bang one out. No big deal. We'll get right back to the call. They're going to be gone 10 minutes. I can do 10 minutes. Let me just pull up the stash. That's what I was thinking this week. Oh God, I was so wrong. The edit at the bottom. Oh, yeah, the edit at the bottom. This piece has been updated with more detail about the call. The headline has been updated to reflect that Toobin was masturbating. No. But he wasn't just in a jerk session. He wasn't like 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes. He was like, this is so boring. I'm going to get on a jack site. And I'm going to have some cam girl or whatever tell me just how huge I am while I blast it out. Not good. Not good. Not a good thing. Whew. Oh, that's magical. It's terrible, but it's magical. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that's the Toobin story. I'm still on Jeff's side here. I think I'm still on his side, but I think he made a mistake. Not a good one. Not a good one at all. Let me get to all right, we got time for one of these ACB hearings. I wanted to do Dick Blumenthal's hearing the other day because he's so stupid that it bore watching. It bore watching. Let's see. Let's look at this guy. Richard Blumenthal. United States Senator. His education, University of Cambridge, Harvard College, Riverdale Country School, and Trinity College. Is this guy? this guy a lawyer? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was Attorney General. Oh, my God. Of Connecticut in 1990. Through 2000, what, 10? Oh, God. Ugh. Ugh. Gross. Let's see. Blumenthal was going after MySpace in 2006. Great. Fantastic. He subpoenaed MySpace in 2009? Was MySpace even around in 2009? Anyway, let's do Dick Blumenthal's hearing. All right, let's do that one. Okay, let me set this up here. Get the audio for you guys. We need something that's a little less degenerate. We gotta bring the average degeneracy of the stream down. Oh, we got a couple more chats to read before we go. Okay, so Easist Donich Dom says, every time I see these degens acting like degens, my libertarian right swings back into authoritarian right pretty quickly. Hans, the Flammenwerfer! I agree. It's really hard to be pro-freedom when you just want to lock them up. Loric Project says, he in a conversation always means something perverted is going on. Chuldo says, last time I sent a super chat, you actually pronounced my username right. So few people can. So here's more money as a reward. I hope I got it right this time. Dang. Docky the Cat says, this wood chipper warm-up material uses lol like Ron uses smiley face. Wonder if these mutual behaviors belie shared, darker, monstrous qualities. We need more evidence. Multiple cases of horrific behavior across similar... Oh. James Spoon says, okay, I work from home because of the coof. Never has it once crossed my mind to start slapping the snake during a work meeting. Don't go Toobin during your meeting, kids. You do not get paid to flog the firemen. Oh, I disagree. I do it every night at work. I mean, I definitely don't. And then finally, Secularis says, yo, Jeff, hard situation. Oops, lol. Anyway, I have a friend that went through the same thing. Let me get you in contact with a great guy called Phil Burnell. He's a great guy. He can help you out. He can also help with your tax situation. Jeff. Woo! Just go straight to OnlyFans, Jeff. Sell your gamer girl bathwater. Start playing Among Us. Get those thirsty thoughts on board. Here we go. This man has bleach wipes on his desk. Those are going to be harsh. I'm telling you. All right. Okay. So these are the Barrett confirmation hearings. Same thing. We covered them the other day. I liked doing this segment, even though this is infuriating. So I hope you guys like it too. And this brings a little law to this. If you don't remember, Amy Coney Barrett is going through her Supreme Court confirmation hearing. She's been nominated to the Supreme Court by Donald Trump and will be approved on advice and consent of the Senate. Republicans probably already have enough votes. As a refresher, Antonin Scalia was approved unanimously by the Senate. 98 votes to 0 nay votes. There were a couple people who weren't there, I guess, because we have more than 98 senators. But 98 yay votes, 0 nay votes. ACB will likely pass on party lines because that's the Democrats are really mad. They're really mad about this thing. Maybe she won't, but she probably will. The questions, in my opinion, for a confirmation hearing for a Supreme Court justice is, are they qualified? Do they have the requisite experience? Do they have the requisite skill set? ACB has been a law professor for something like 15 years, and she's been on the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals for, I think, 3 years now. In my opinion, she has the chops. I don't believe that Chief Justice John Roberts was ever a judge, if I remember right. He was a clerk. Let me see. I'll check real quick. But I don't know that he ever served judge. Oh, he was? He was on the D.C. Court of Appeals from 2003 to 2005. Other than that, he was a U.S. attorney, principal deputy solicitor general of the U.S. Prior to that, he was associate counsel to the president, President Reagan. I believe he was also a court clerk early on. But you don't have to be a judge forever to be a Supreme Court justice. In fact, I was talking to people the other day. Being a trial court judge isn't the most useful thing to being an appellate court judge or a Supreme Court judge. Those aren't necessarily logical progressions. A trial court judge at the state level could make a good district court judge. At the federal level, again, a lifetime appointment. But appellate judges are distinctly different from trial court judges. They have different things that they're looking to do. They have different ways of approaching problems. And they have different writing styles. And they have to confer with colleagues to make their decision. So I think ACB is qualified. I think she has the character and fitness to be a Supreme Court justice. Some people will suggest that we need to pick on judicial philosophy. I disagree. I think that's up to the president. I don't think that's so much up to the Senate. But, I mean, the Senate has the right to disagree with me. Don't get me wrong. They do. And they have the right to vote however they want. But my personal opinion is the judicial philosophy is going to be picked by the president. It's not the Senate's job to question that judicial philosophy. Like, I don't think we need to have necessarily a Ruth Bader Ginsburg to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's how the courts work. And I don't think we should have the same makeup of the courts over the years. And most importantly, neither do the Democrats. Because if they could have replaced Scalia with a Breyer or a Ginsburg, they would have. They just couldn't do it because the Republicans had power and prevented the vote. Look, Obama tried to he had Scalia killed too late. If he would have had Scalia killed a year earlier, Democrats could have ham-fisted in whoever they wanted. They didn't do it. He should have had Scalia killed in 2015 instead of 2016. I, of course, kid. I'm completely joking. Scalia definitely died of fully natural causes under a pillow on a hunting lot, blah, 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 blah. This is all just a joke. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You didn't need to replace Scalia with a Scalia, and they didn't. You don't need to replace a Ginsburg with a Ginsburg, and Democrats wouldn't. They wouldn't replace a Scalia with a Scalia if they were in power. The Republicans don't need to play that game either. That's the whole point of these elections. Elections have the ability to change the makeup of the court. If you have the presidency and the Senate, you have the power to change the makeup of the court when one of these old codgers dies. Period. You just do. And anyone who suggests otherwise is lying to you or is stupid. That's it. All right? Let's listen to this shit.
I want to just begin by saying
his voice already pisses me off. Synac8 says that fake election was a gay op. They would most likely use it as a prediction on Biden winning. They didn't need a fake election to do that. Let me start by saying, oh God, this guy's voice is going to drive me crazy.
Perhaps not surprisingly to you, that I was really disappointed by your responses to a number of my colleagues, most
Shut up!
recently to Senator Coons on the issue of whether you would participate in a decision involving the upcoming election if you are confirmed.
Okay, before we get into what his question will ultimately be, it's going to take a while to get there. I've talked about this. This is the issue of recusal. So the question they're asking, what they're trying to do is and this is a stupid thing to try and do. They're trying to get ACB to commit to recusing herself from a Supreme Court case involving the upcoming election. Now, if there is a Supreme Court case involving the upcoming election, I think there's a very good chance that ACB recuses herself. I think there is. However, it's not a guaranteed thing, and there is no reason on earth for her to commit to it at this juncture. Because recusal isn't, I have feelings about this issue, or someone thinks I have feelings about the issue. That's not what qualifies for recusal. Judges have all sorts of feelings about all sorts of issues. And if they just felt strongly about one issue or another, or if other people thought they might feel strongly about one issue or another, that does not qualify you for recusal. Recusal is a very specific thing that has some pretty specific context to it. If I'm not mistaken, there was like Elena Kagan recused herself from one of the Obamacare decisions. And that's because she wrote the she was on the appellate court that had decided the lower issue. So she didn't think it was proper for her to rule on her own court's opinion. And that makes sense. Why would Elena Kagan rule on something that she's already ruled upon? She's not going to be she might not be objectively able to review her own work and to come to a different conclusion if necessary. So she recused herself. That makes sense. Now, just because Elena Kagan felt strongly about the Affordable Care Act, and by the way, that's why she was appointed to defend the Affordable Care Act. It's one of the reasons Obama appointed Elena Kagan was because of how she wrote about the Affordable Care Act in one case. Just because she feels strongly about it doesn't mean she's going to be recusing herself from every further Affordable Care Act case. In fact, I think they've heard many of them, and she has been in on them because she wasn't on those lower courts. It's a different circumstance. ACB has no obligation to commit to recusal, even if she may recuse herself in the future. And this is a dumb line of questioning.
I continue to believe that if you were to participate in a decision involving that election, it would do enduring explosive damage to the court. I think you know it would be wrong.
Listen to this motherfucker mansplain.
Not because of anything you've done. In fact, I'm not raising the issue of whether you've done any sort of deal or commitment because of what Donald Trump has done. And
not a basis for recusal. It is not the basis for recusal that someone else did something. So now we want you to not decide it. That is not the basis for recusal.
My Republican colleagues, because they have indelibly put at issue your integrity through their statements. The president has said that he's putting you on the court as a ninth justice so you can decide the election.
That's that's not what he said. What Trump said was, if the election goes to the Supreme Court, we've got to have 9 justices. That's what he said. Now, you can read into it that we've got to have these 9 justices for the purposes of having a 5-4 decision. You can read that. That's not what Trump said. Trump did not say, I'm appointing this justice so she rules in my favor if the election goes to the Supreme Court. Not what he said. Not at all what he said. And anything anyone reads into that is their own biases applied to his statements. It would be a much better thing, especially with such a closely divided court, to have 9 justices, no matter which way the 9th justice goes. Because the real likely event is that if you only have 8 and the election goes to the Supreme Court with such a closely divided court, that we will have a 4-4 split on one of the most important issues that has come up in the past, I don't know, 2 decades. And that's a scary prospect. What does a split court do? A split court defers to the appellate court's decision. Now, that's going to really bear into who sues and on what issue. The split court will not be able to decide the lower court's issue. It will just be split, and its decision will be pointless, and it will go back to the low court. That's not how we want an election decided. We really do want, at minimum, a 5-4 ruling, if not 6-3, 7-2, 8-1, 9-0. And it's a little presumptuous to say it definitely will be a split on party lines as far as if the election has a Supreme Court issue. That's not necessarily true. It really depends on the issue. But that's all of everyone's assumption. But it is better to have a nine justice court, an odd number justice court. Maybe one of the others can die. Then she can recuse herself. I don't know. It would be better to have an odd number justice so we don't have an even split on a major issue like this.
It's been very clear and transparent. And the American people are not dumb. They're watching and they're listening. And if you were to sit on this case, if it goes to the Supreme Court, the American people would lose faith and trust in the court itself. It would be a dagger at the heart of the court and our democracy if this election is decided by the court rather than the American voters. So I wanted to begin by making that point and then go to, again, the real people who are really in this room with us and who will be affected by you as a justice. Yesterday, I introduced you to Connor Curran. You may recall. He's 10 years old.
Oh, thank God.
On his 10th birthday, September 27th.
So glad he introduced her to a picture.
Champion.
The champion.
Was diagnosed, as you may remember, with Duchenne muscular dystrophy at age 4. His parents were told to take him home and give him a good life because he would soon lose his ability to walk, told his muscles would get so weak that he'd eventually lose his ability to smile. And still smiling.
Still smiling. Good job, Connor.
What lies behind that smile is untold pain, physical pain, the anguish of going through the needles and the prodding and the treatments. But for his family, it's also the anguish of wondering whether they'll be able to pay for treatment that has kept him alive.
Look, I feel bad for Connor's family, but this doesn't matter to electing a judge.
Life's milestones. They sent me a letter that they asked me to share with you, saying to you, Judge Barrett, please protect Connor.
Why didn't they send her a letter?
And they wrote also for millions of other Americans, 135 million Americans, many of them children, just like Connor, but also.
Why are they writing on behalf of 135 million Americans? Did they talk to them? Do they know? No, they're not. They're not actually writing on behalf of 135 million Americans. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this. They're writing on behalf of themselves. And that's fine. That is fine. But they don't speak for everybody. People are not a monolith. Midnight in Exile says the plan has always been to pollute mail-ins and contest if Trump wins, relying on Roberts to turn SCOTUS in their favor. That's why they're losing their S over ACB. There's no way this election isn't getting contested. Writing's all over the wall from both parties. Jimmy the Hand says, when will these people accept that it doesn't actually matter how much specific people rely on the ACA? If it's unconstitutional, it has to go. That's on these lawmakers. Write better laws if you don't like it. Yeah, and the Affordable Care Act was written in like 2010. Or no, was it passed in 2010? It was written like 5 years prior by a special interest group And they just literally just adopted it. They just threw it in.
Christine Miller from Bloomfield, Connecticut. She was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. Her condition was only discovered because of the ACA, which gave...
Bullshit. Bullshit. That assumes that there was no other way for her condition to be discovered than the Affordable Care Act. But of course there was. Of course there were other ways for it to be discovered. It was only discovered due to the ACA.
Gave her affordable coverage for the first time in a long time using Connecticut.
It did not give her affordable coverage. Connecticut paid for coverage for her. There's a difference. Connecticut could already do this. We didn't need an Affordable Care Act for individual states to socialize their health care. All of them could do it. Any state could have done this individually and should. If you want, Massachusetts did it.
It's exchange, healthcare exchange.
Yeah.
And they wrote for people like Julia Lanzano in Cheshire, Connecticut. She suffered from headaches for years, and she put off going to a doctor because she lacked insurance. So typical and common for people.
You guys made the system that made doctors so expensive.
When Julia finally saw a doctor still without insurance, she learned she had a brain tumor, and she was eligible for coverage under Connecticut's Medicaid expansion program, which was created by the Affordable Care Act.
She was eligible for coverage before.
It was a godsend.
She didn't know she had a...
I raise these stories in part because, as you know, I'm sure, protection for people who suffer from pre-existing conditions is in fact on the line in this case that will come to the Supreme Court only a week after the election. I want to be crystal clear because you stated to Senator Feinstein that, and I'm going to quote, so far as I know, the case next week doesn't present that issue. It's not a challenge to pre-existing conditions coverage or to the extreme lifetime maximum relief from a cap. And technically, you're right, but
she's very right.
Big but.
Oh, damn.
The trial court is upheld.
I mean, kind of.
And there's no severability.
Got that booty.
The entire act goes down.
Yes, and then Congress has to work.
That is what the Trump
administration
is asking the court to do. That's what the plaintiffs want done.
Because you fuckers won't just change it.
I gathered that's Senator Coons had shown the brief with the litigating position of the Department of Justice.
I want to move on.
Why didn't you write severability into it, you idiots?
Another healthcare case, and this one involves some of the letters that Senator Hawley was mentioning.
Thank God, more letters. I can't
I need to raise them because Senator Hawley asked about them, so did Senator Leahy, and I want to just clarify what they mean. And I want to make absolutely clear, I detest and oppose any religious test. I am not asking you any questions about your religious beliefs.
You wouldn't want to do that. You guys did it in 2017, got your asses kicked.
Your legal position. So in case I'm unclear in any of my questions, I want you to tell me.
Thank you, Senator.
You signed onto this 2006 open letter sponsored by an organization then known as the...
Sorry, I just had to get that out before this section. She's going to have to idiot-splain to him because he's a fucking idiot.
St. Joseph's County Right to Life, which was published in the South Bend Tribune. Is that the letter that Senator Hawley was mentioning?
I believe the statement that's on the left, I think Senator Hawley had read the language I can't remember it verbatim, but it was something like, you know, we support the right to life from fertilization to natural death. Yes.
The letter and ad referred to Roe v. Wade's legacy as quote-unquote barbaric, correct?
I don't think that that's part of the statement. I think that's part of the ad that appeared on the page next to it.
They appeared side by side, correct?
I believe that it ran that way in the newspaper. I'm not sure that I ever saw it in the newspaper, but yes, that is my understanding.
That's how it appeared, so they were side by side.
That's based, yes.
Do you see what happened there? He's asking her what she signed. Okay, there's two things. There are two separate things. One is a letter that a bunch of people signed. The other is an ad, which none of these motherfuckers signed. It's an ad that was taken out as a full 2-page spread. Here are the signatures we have on the letter. Here is an ad about the letter, which has something different than the letter. They didn't sign the ad, you senile, rickety old pile of garbage. They probably didn't see the ad. And oh my God, I've got a bunch of paints, Richard. Can I put them in your Parkinson's hand so you can shake them up for me? Save me some time.
Based on, since, yeah.
And
put Jeffrey Toobin's dick in your hand so he doesn't have to work so hard.
the St. Joseph's County Right to Life sponsored the letter that you signed.
I think the St. Joseph County Right to Life organization was the one who presented the statement that I signed at the back of church.
I want to give you an opportunity to clarify. You didn't disclose that letter when you were nominated to the 7th Circuit in 2017, did you?
I did not, Senator Blumenthal, and I'm actually very glad that you brought that up because I just want to clarify for the record, number one, that I didn't have any recollection of that letter. I signed it almost, or the statement, I signed it almost.
She's in church one day in 2006, and she's like walking. Some guy stands up and gives a speech about it, right? They bring in such and such right to life, come in, talk about how bad abortion is. Like, we've got this letter, we're looking for some signatures on it. Do you believe we should end on-demand abortion? We want to pray about ending abortion. Believe that? You go, okay, yeah, that's within my faith system. Go ahead and do that. You walk to the back of church, they have a bunch of things. Here, sign on to this letter. Here's a pamphlet. You just sign our little book. And then they go away. Of course, she doesn't remember. I don't remember what I did yesterday. This is crazy.
Almost 15 years ago, quickly on my way out of church. And, you know, the questionnaire asks me for 30 years worth of material, and I've produced more than 1,800 pages. And so I didn't recall it. After it came to my attention, I did go back and look at the questionnaire, and I actually don't think that particular statement is responsive to question 12, which is, I think, the closest that it would come. I don't think it's responsive, but in any event, it is part of the public, you know, record, and I'm very happy to discuss it. But I wasn't
part of the
hiding
public
the ball.
record now, and it's a letter. The questionnaire asks for letters. Have you disclosed it now? Have you provided it officially?
So, Senator, as I said, I've supplemented my questionnaire with other material that came to light that I do think was responsive. That one, and I would be happy to answer questions if you wanted questions for the record with more specific detail, but I did not understand that to be responsive to question 12, I think it is.
Well, in fact, we know about it only because The Guardian made it public, I believe. Let me ask you about another letter, 2013 letter. Mm-hmm. You signed on to this letter regarding Roe v. Wade.
Okay, here, I've got it. Real quick, we'll take a peek at this. Here is the questionnaire. Here's question 12, what she's talking about here at the bottom, okay? This is a 69-page document. This has her responses as well. Okay, so published writings and public statements. Lists the titles, publishers, and dates of books, articles, reports, letters to the editor, editorial pieces, or other published material you have written or edited, including material published only on the internet, regardless of whether it was published in your name, another name, or anonymously. Supply 4 copies of all published material to the committee. That's it. That's the question. Notice that the letter is not in any way responsive to this. Okay? So, list the titles, publishers, and dates of books, articles, reports, letters to the editor, editorial pieces, or other published material you have written or edited, including material published only on the internet. She didn't write it. She signed a statement. She signed a statement with a bunch of other people. It's not responsive to that. So she's answered a whole bunch of things because she's written a whole bunch of shit in her life. Okay, supply 4 copies. Here's B. 4 copies of any reports, memoranda, policy statements, minutes, agendas, legal filings, or other materials you prepared or contributed in the preparation of, on behalf of any bar association, committee, conference, or organization, which you were or are a member, or which you have participated as defined in 11A. Include reports, memoranda, policy statements, or legal filings of any advisory board on which you served, or working group of any bar association, committee, or conference which produced a report, memorandum, policy statement, or legally filing where you did not contribute to it. If you do not have a copy of a report, memorandum, policy statement, or legal filing, give the name and address of the organization that issued it, the date of the document, and a summary of its subject matter. This goes back for 30 years, by the way. 30 years. So she supplies a bunch. Okay, supply 4 copies of any testimony, official statements, or other communications relating in whole or in part to matters of public policy or legal interpretation that you have issued or provided, or that others presented on your behalf to public bodies or public officials. Nope. Supply 4 copies, transcripts, or event-sponsored recordings of all speeches or talks delivered by you, including commencement speeches. So it's not a speech or a talk. Let's see if there's another part to this question. There's all her speeches and talks. There's a billion of these. Here's the problem. They've asked her for something, but they didn't actually ever ask her for it. So now they're mad that she didn't. Well, now Dickie Blumenthal is mad that she didn't present this thing. List all interviews you have given to newspapers, magazines, or other publications. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's not an interview. In connection with any public office you held, were there any reports, memoranda, or policy statements prepared? Okay, nothing. That's not in connection with any public office. So that's it. Here's question 13. Change your question, Dick.
It was sponsored by the University Faculty for Life at Notre Dame. You're a member of that organization, correct?
I do.
And the letter described Roe v. Wade as, it's behind me, infamous. And it stated that the signatories, quote, renew our call for the unborn to be protected in law. Correct?
Yes, I believe the full statement says, I'm testing my eyesight here, our full support for our university's commitment to the right to life, because, you know, Notre Dame is a Catholic university and embraces the teachings of the Catholic Church on abortion. And so as a faculty member and member of the University Faculty for Life, I signed that statement.
But you didn't disclose that letter.
Again, Senator, I produced 1,800 pages of material, and all 6 prior nominees have had to supplement because they've overlooked things. 30 years worth of material is a lot to try to find and remember.
You disclosed it, in fact, just...
If I get nominated to the Supreme Court, I have to disclose all YouTube videos. Oh, God, if one of you ever becomes president, I don't care if I make it to the Supreme Court. Just nominate me. So these idiots have to do it. So they have to sit there and watch all of these.
It's about 3 days ago, I believe, right?
Because that's when it was brought to my attention. I had no recollection of it, and it surfaced in the press, and so it came to my attention, and then I supplemented. And I did think it was responsive because it was a statement of an organization of which I was part, and I belonged to the University Faculty for Life at the time.
If this process maybe had been a little less rushed, you might have had more time to go back and recall some of these documents?
Well, Senator, as I said, all 6 prior nominees, or the most recent 6, have had to supplement too. So I don't think it really had anything to do with time. I think it has to do with the volume of material.
And when you and I spoke, when you appeared before this committee in connection with your 2017 nomination, I didn't have the benefit of any of these documents, although I asked you about right of privacy and the validity of Roe v. Wade, correct?
Senator, I said on my SJQ when I was nominated to the 7th Circuit, and I said again now, I produced all the material that I could find, and I conducted searches to try to find things that I forgot, and I didn't find that. I understand that someone had to manually go to Notre Dame and look through back archives. I didn't remember it, and I couldn't find it. I assure you I was not trying to hide it from you.
So, Judge, and I apologize for interrupting you. I'm
No,
pressed for
go ahead.
time.
Sure.
Respectfully, I want to
Your stupid explanation took more time than just talking.
share another healthcare story with you. This is about Samantha. One night in January 2017, Samantha went out with a few friends and coworkers. She woke up the next morning in a coworker's home, confused, scared, covered in blood. She'd been raped. After she was raped, Samantha was, in her words, a zombie. She couldn't change clothes, she couldn't shower, she couldn't drink or think. She wanted this event to be erased from her memory. Samantha's
Affordable
attacker
Care Act
also began
cover
stalking
that?
her, and she was struggling with depression and PTSD. In March, Samantha took a pregnancy test, and then another, then another. They kept coming back with the same result: pregnant. After the horrible violence she faced, she simply couldn't process that she was now pregnant. When Samantha shared her story with me, she said, "I knew if I couldn't end this pregnancy, it would end me." So she decided to get an abortion. Now,
This is reportedly less than 2% of all abortions. Less than 2%.
as you know, Judge, the landmark Roe v. Wade decision gave her that option.
Nope.
It gave women the right to decide.
Roe v. Wade did not make abortion legal. This is something that people misunderstand. I think Roe v. Wade does not make abortion legal. It prevents states from making it illegal before a certain period of gestation. All states, any state could have abortion at any point in time prior to Roe v. Wade. There was nothing preventing a state from saying, you know what, you can have an abortion whenever you want. Nothing prevented it at all. Roe v. Wade didn't make it legal. Roe v. Wade guarantees a minimum amount of legality. That's a different thing. If a state wants to make abortion, in the same way, like the death penalty, right? Like the death penalty is a minimum guarantee. Like, you can't be killed before you're 18 now because of the 8th Amendment. All right. You can't be tortured because of the 8th Amendment. But nothing has, and actually it wasn't always that way. It's only become that way recently. But nothing prevented a state from abolishing the death penalty. Nothing prevents it now. Plenty of states abolished the death penalty. The 8th Amendment wasn't necessary for that. That's not how the Constitution works. Constitution didn't make it legal to have an abortion. States make it legal to have an abortion.
For themselves, whether and when to have a child. Roe didn't compel Samantha to get an abortion. It didn't tell her what she had to do, but it gave her that choice. The question that I would like to ask you concerns your legal position. does the Constitution protect Samantha's right to have an abortion?
Roe versus Wade clearly held that the Constitution protected a woman's right to terminate a pregnancy. Casey upheld that central holding and spelled out in greater detail the tests that the court uses to consider the legality of abortion regulations.
Now, I'm asking you this question because
You're a cuck. That's why you're
group
asking it. You're an idiot and a cuck.
that sponsored the first letter, St. Joseph's County Right to Life, as it was then known, states, quote, abortion is never the right answer, even in cases of sexual assault or where the pregnant woman's life is in danger. And the purpose of the letters that you signed seem to be a statement of legal position, but you're saying that there is a...
The letter that she signed was not a legal position. The letter she signed was praying to end abortion. That's what the letter was. It didn't say anything about a legal position at all. God, oh, what an idiot. Nova Zero says, wait, a Catholic at a Catholic institute signed a document in support of a Catholic position that coincidentally the vast majority of people support because the alternative demands a position that ticks off moderates? Oh, God.
constitutional right to an abortion.
Senator, the statement that I signed from the St. Joseph County Right to Life didn't say anything about rape or incest or any of those things. It simply validated the teaching of my church on the sacredness of life from conception to natural death.
What I hear you saying is, in the Constitution, there is that right.
You mean when I was talking about Roe and Casey a moment ago?
Well, Roe was correctly decided. You're agreeing that...
What I said was that Roe held that the Constitution protects a woman's right to terminate a pregnancy, that Casey reaffirmed that holding, and indeed, many cases after Casey have affirmed that holding again, Whole Women's Health, for example. So I think we might be talking past each other because the statements that I signed were statements of my personal beliefs and not...
Not your personal belief, Your Honor, your legal position. Are you willing to say that Roe was correctly decided? Because that's really the essence of the question here.
See that little eye roll?
Well, Senator, as I've said, to others of your colleagues in response to questioning, that it's inconsistent with the duties of a sitting judge, and therefore has been the practice of every nominee that sat in the seat before me to take positions on cases that the court has decided in the past.
Well, I think Samantha and a lot of rape survivors would be really deeply fearful about that answer because it provides no reassurance that you believe that Roe was correctly decided. Let me talk about Tracy.
It's improper for her to say whether or not she believes it was correctly decided.
Because she, again, came to me, told me she was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, and that it had caused an ongoing inability to have a healthy pregnancy. But as she said, she was one of the, quote, lucky ones. She had access to care and was able to receive treatment to assist in getting and staying pregnant.
Oh, good.
And I have encountered,
she didn't kill her baby.
You have
That's great.
many members of the military, veterans, who have sought similar kinds of treatment, and some of them because they've suffered wounds of war.
If they're veterans,
Tracy
don't they have VA health
when
care?
she saw the executive director of the St. Joseph County Right to Life recently stated, and I quote, "We would be supportive of criminalizing the discarding of frozen embryos or selective reduction through the IVF process." So Tracy wanted me to ask you, in fact, she asked me to pose this question, is it your legal position that making IVF a crime would be constitutional?
Well, Senator, the statement that I signed, as we discussed, affirmed the belief of my church with respect to matters of life.
I'm not asking about what you signed. I'm asking about your present legal position.
But what I was...
Is making IVF a crime
Senator, you're,
constitutional. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I was trying to answer. But you're quoting positions from the St. Joseph County Right to Life. I'm not a member of that organization, and so I'm not responsible for statements that they make.
Thank you.
The statement that I signed said what you and I have discussed, and it said nothing further than that. And as for, what policy position someone might take, as I've said to your colleagues, it's not up to me to be in the business of expressing views, and I am happy.
Let's talk real quick about the ludicrous circumstances it would take. Congress, in some state, would have to pass a law that makes in vitro fertilization and selective reduction due to IVF, which means, okay, look, we've got four potential, fetuses or whatever coming up, and that's a lot. Do you want quadruplets? Like, or even disposing of frozen fertilized embryos. Like, they would have to pass a law preventing IVF couples from having those options. Now, no one is going to pass this law. No one. No one's going to do it anywhere. It's a ludicrous concept because everybody who's like, you know what? Most IVF couples, they don't want to do IVF. Most people, let me tell you, you don't want to do IVF. You're paying like 15, 20 grand a treatment. They may not take. These people are struggling with fertility. Outside of some celebrities, sure, they do IVF. The majority of people on IVF don't want to do it. They would much rather have a natural pregnancy. They've been trying to have a pregnancy. It's not working. So they resort to IVF as like a last ditch. No state is like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to punish people who want to have babies but are having trouble doing it naturally. That's our plan. That's not on the minds of almost anybody at all. So they'd have to pass this. Then it would have to get all the way up to the Supreme Court. And there'd have to be a circuit split. Oh my God.
Happy to talk about views that I expressed when I was a private citizen, but now I'm a judge, and so I cannot publicly express views.
Just to be absolutely clear, I'm not asking about the St. Joseph County Right to Life.
We
or
know
their positions, and I understand you may or may not disagree or agree with them, but your legal position, IVF treatment.
She
and
can't
I'm
give you
not
her
gonna
legal
ask
position,
again,
you dope.
Just this last time, criminalizing it.
Well,
Would it be constitutional? I think there's a clear answer.
but Senator, I've repeatedly said, as has every other nominee who sat in this seat, that we can't answer questions in the abstract. That would have to be decided in the course of the judicial process. With a case, some legislature would actually have to do that, and then litigants would have to come to court. There would have to be briefs and arguments and consultation with colleagues and opinion writing and consideration of precedent. So an off-the-cuff reaction to that would just circumvent the judicial process.
Well, again, I'm disappointed. I think Tracy would find that response somewhat chilling.
Tracy's retarded.
Because
frankly,
she and
if that's how she feels, she's an idiot.
thousands,
And
maybe
so the
millions
fuck are
of
you. God,
women, potential
these
parents,
people run the country.
would be horrified to think that IVF treatment could be made criminal. And I understand you're not answering the question, but I think she would
IVF
be
treatment
deeply
isn't going to be
fearful.
made criminal.
Do you think that it would be constitutional to make it a crime for doctors or healthcare providers to provide that care or abortion care?
Well, Senator, again,
Listen
that's
to
a
her.
hypothetical question.
It's
And
like
so,
dealing with a
as I've said,
4-year-old
to give
that just ate
off-the-cuff
27
responses
gallons of
about
paste,
abstract issues.
asking
And I
you
should clarify to
questions.
say it really doesn't matter if they're hard questions or easy questions. It's just any questions that call for an abstract legal opinion are not ones that are appropriate for me to give either as a sitting judge or as a nominee. Those questions in my judicial role can be answered only through the judicial process.
Just to be absolutely clear, there are millions of women like Samantha and Tracy and the veterans I mentioned, who are terrified to think that their doctors and healthcare providers
There are not millions of
would
people who are
be
terrified of this, by the way.
potentially in jail at risk of
Nope.
prosecution.
Literally
Doctors who are exercising
not millions.
currently
Maybe like
protected
12.
rights that Samantha says saved her life. And I believe our healthcare providers are heroes, particularly during the pandemic. But I want to ask you one more
Pander
question
to the healthcare
about
providers
these
for no
documents.
reason.
In the 2013 letter that you signed, there is the following statement.
Look at the tag board cuck back there. I'm going to replace the
We
sign every
renew our
time
call
Dickie
for the
Blumenthal
unborn to
mentions
be
it.
protected in law, and welcomed in life. What does it mean for, quote, the unborn to be protected in law? Does that statement mean there is no valid constitutional protection for an abortion, and therefore Roe v. Wade should be overturned?
Listen to this guy.
You know, I think that statement is an affirmation of life. You know, it points out that we express our love and
The plain language of the statement is simple. They pray that the unborn be protected in law. Whatever extent that is. By the way, if it was legal to abort your baby up to the moment of birth, and law said, you know what, you got to have 24 hours before the due date for the abortion, that would be protecting the unborn in law. Even though that's like a minimal thing, that would be some level of protection in law. That would be satisfactory as a first step for a lot of people. Then they'd, hope it would be 2 days, then 3, then 4. That doesn't mean that, abortion's unconstitutional because it says so. I think abortion is unconstitutional because I think Roe v. Wade is a ridiculous decision. Has no basis in the Constitution at all. But it doesn't really matter what I think.
support for the mothers who bear them. Again, it was a statement validating the position of the Catholic university at which I worked in support for life and to, support women in crisis pregnancies, to support babies. So it's really no more than the expression of a pro-life view.
I expect we'll be talking more about this issue tomorrow. I want to move now
thank
to
God.
Another
I'm
topic.
sure she's looking forward
you
to
and
your
Senator
questioning
Durbin
tomorrow.
And others talked about your dissent in Cantor v. Barr. And I think your approach here, in effect, usurps
Insert
the
clever name here
legislature's
says
appropriate
he's so trying to
role in
play
making
4D chess with her,
policy
and he
judgments.
can't even spell 4D.
In the case of Cantor, which, by the way, you put first on the list of decisions that you thought were most important that you have written. Is that correct?
No.
I don't remember the order in which I listed them.
It was first.
I accept that. I just don't remember the order.
Okay.
I did list it. I remember listing it. But.
Okay.
She didn't care what order it was.
But that decision seems to usurp the legislature's role in deciding who should be permitted to have firearms and who.
No. First of all, it was a dissent. It wasn't a decision. Cantor v. Barr, she wrote the dissent. So she didn't usurp anything, you idiot.
Who should not. Because you decided the legislature was wrong to classify felons as not deserving of firearms. You decided as a matter of policy that
No, she decided
when
as a matter
they were
of
not
precedent.
dangerous, they should have that right. That's a policy or legislative judgment. And I think it has huge ramifications.
You'd love to get a
for real
ramification,
people
wouldn't you?
across the country. And I want to tell you about one of them from Sandy Hook, Connecticut.
Oh, thank God. Parade a dead kid around.
Natalie.
Please, bring more dead children to your arguments.
Who is shown here with her brother Daniel. Daniel was killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut on December 14th, 2012. Daniel was 7. I was there.
You were not there.
I saw the parents after
You
they
went there
learned
later. Because you're an
that they
opportunistic
had
politician
lost
piece
20
of
beautiful
shit.
children.
I was there at San. You weren't
And
fucking
6 grade
there.
educators
If you were there,
died
you
as
would have gotten
well. In
shot,
the
and we'd all be
firehouse
better
that
off.
day, there was unspeakable grief. And 8 years later, Natalie says that grief remains with her. But
I'm sure it does.
Natalie, like Newtown, is resilient and strong, and her grief and trauma have spurred hope and action. She and many young people across the country are leading a movement to deal with the epidemic and scourge of gun violence in.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. We have elementary age children 8 years later, so they're still like in high school, now leading a movement. Oh, whew. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad these children, very informed on the issue of the Bill of Rights, are leading a movement to try and undo them based on their personal grief. Thank you. That's what we need. That will help us all. Doesn't matter what the text says. Doesn't matter the fact that we could fucking amend the Constitution. Doesn't matter any of this. We now have school-age children telling us all what it is. Good. Oh, great.
This country. What happened at Sandy Hook was not an isolated instance.
Let's remind everyone that Adam Lanza killed his mother and stole the gun that she owned. He didn't buy it. He didn't have a background check. He didn't do anything regarding the firearms process. The only thing that would have prevented him from getting that gun is if the gun didn't exist, because it was a legally purchased firearm by the actual holder, who he murdered and stole from.
There have been 236 other mass shootings in the last decade.
No, there
in the last
haven't.
10 years. Gun violence has taken more than 354,000 lives.
No, it
In
hasn't.
rural communities and urban communities.
You're including suicides, you piece of shit. Suicides are not gun violence. Suicides are suicides.
All around the country. And I'm sure in Indiana and South Bend as well.
No, there's no gun
Your
crime in
opinion
Gary,
in
Indiana.
Cantor goes farther than Justice Scalia in Heller. In fact, you characterized it as kind of radical. It is in effect.
I want to clarify. Oh, she's going to say, no, she didn't. The word radical does not appear in this case. Doesn't appear. The word radical, not even radicalize, no subset of radical. It's not in the text. It's not there. I checked. I was like, it'd be really weird for a judge to categorize their position as kind of radical. This is like kind of radical. That's not how judges talk. I don't know if anybody knows this, but listen to ACB talk. He doesn't talk like a teenager. He talks like a fucking judge. And kind of radical isn't really in their vocabulary. It's not in the vernacular of an appellate court judge when they're writing an opinion. Shockingly, it's not in there.
In fact, an outlier. And
look at her confused face.
It
I
is,
don't
in
remember
fact,
writing that. That's
radical.
fucking weird.
Did I say it was radical in the opinion?
I think you said, quote, it sounds kind of radical
Nope,
to
that's
say
not a quote.
felons can have firearms. That's a direct quote.
That's not a direct quote. Ah! I will prove it. I will prove it. I will prove it. Where is it? Where is it? Cantor v. Barr. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? We will talk about it. 7th Circuit Court of Appeals. Here we go. Control F. Radical. 0. 0 out of 0. You guys can't see it. The closest we get is radic contradictory views. Once I add an A, there are no more. There is no radical. Radical doesn't exist. And here's her dissent. That's a direct quote, kind of radical, except it isn't. There is no radical in this document. It's not written anywhere. I wish you guys could see my little find window. Maybe if I do this. You can see it up here, right? Radical. Oh, I can't zoom in on that. But anyway, radical is right here. 0 out of 0. It's not there. It's not in the text. Fucking dope. That's a direct quote. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Oh, I didn't remember that particular language.
Because it's not in there.
I'm not.
Did
I'm
A
not,
part give him the citation? Probably. That
I
fucking
just don't recall
moron.
it, but I'm not nitpicking about it.
You should. It's
We can
not
look
in
it
there.
up.
That's fine.
We can look
Senator.
it up.
I don't think you're making it up. Trust me.
He
No,
is making
I'll
it up.
check it and look
Actually,
it up,
he's
but I know
just
that's not the
senile.
thrust of your
He doesn't
question.
even know he's
Sounds kind
wrong.
of radical because it is radical.
It's not
In
kind of
fact,
radical.
No courts of appeals, except maybe the Seventh Circuit, has adopted this.
Let's see. Kind of. All right, there are two examples of kind of. Let's see if we can get even close. All right. Would be an effort to capture criminals whose possession of guns would pose the same kind of danger. Okay, that's not it. How about this? Until this case was brought before us, that there was but one kind of death known to our laws. Okay, kind of. But no kind of radical, no kind of anything. It's not like he just got one word wrong. He's got the whole damn phrase wrong.
Reasoning?
The Third Circuit, I think, has a rule that's.
Hold on. We got to go back just a second. Because he says this is the only court.
In fact, no courts of appeals, except maybe the Seventh Circuit, has adopted this reasoning.
The Third Circuit, I think, has a rule that's.
The Third Circuit, any other?
The Seventh didn't adopt this rule. She wrote the dissent, you dummy. And she's like, the Third Circuit, there is another. Shocker.
Others?
I don't know that it's come up.
I
in
knew there
others,
was one
Third-
circuit that did. I wasn't sure which one. But thank you.
My position was consistent with a Third Circuit en banc decision that had already been decided.
And cutting
En banc means the entire appeals court panel sat for the case. So a 3-court appeals panel sat. They decided. Then they requested. Somebody didn't like that decision and requested an en banc review, which means that the entire appeals court would sit. It was granted. So the entire Third Circuit heard the case, and they voted. This is what they came up with. The Third Circuit, her reasoning is consistent with the Third Circuit. The other courts likely haven't really heard this situation. We don't know that there's a circuit split. It's just that the Third Circuit felt this way.
through all of the legalese, and we've had quite a bit of it going back and forth. What this approach does potentially is mean that Connecticut's gun safety provisions, that the people of Newtown, Kristen and Michael Song, on behalf of their son Ethan, who perished because of a gun that was unsafely stored, they championed a measure called Ethan's Law. Common sense measures that might have prevented the death of Shane Oliver, Janet Rice's son, who died on October 20th, 2012. Shane was killed when he was 20 years old in Hartford. He died fighting for his life in Hartford Hospital. And measures like the emergency risk protection order that Connecticut now has. 19 states have these laws. They've saved lives.
Have they?
And
where's the data?
Extreme risk protection
Where have they
order
saved
laws, which help minimize
lives?
risk, might well be struck down under the reasoning of your dissent.
No, they won't. A dissent, like, okay, dissents have been used to strike down laws. They have. Like years later, decades later. I believe the dissent in Plessy versus Ferguson was cited in Brown versus Board of Education. Let's see, when was Plessy v. Ferguson? Plessy v. Ferguson. Brown versus Board was 1954. Plessy versus Ferguson was 1896. We're talking 60 years had gone by, and the country went through a massive change. It is rare that a dissenting opinion is cited as the basis when they go back and say, you know what, that dissenting opinion, that was actually like right. That was right. The court was wrong. It's rare that that happens. Look at her face. Like, how the fuck are they going to use my dissent to invalidate these laws in any near term? It's insane. And the dissent isn't authoritative. It's just persuasive. It's just a good argument written by a constitutional lawyer, basically. So there's no like, well, this dissent is here, so it's controlling. She's like, this man's a lawyer. This is all she's thinking. You could just draw a bunch of question marks around her head and like a WTF. She has no idea what he's talking about because he's actually maybe a danger to himself.
Respectfully, Senator, my dissent would not reach even those issues. My dissent was about the narrow question about whether a felon who had sold fraudulent foot inserts could automatically be disqualified from his Second Amendment rights simply on that basis. It said that...
This is a real quick point. This is something that's hard to understand when you're not a lawyer or even when you're not a constitutional lawyer, right? Is that Supreme Court decisions, appellate court decisions are actually much narrower than people think. Sure, you can write that they are like something and therefore they deserve some extra, like you try and analogize them to make them into the current case you're in, but they're narrow decisions. They're not these sweeping decisions that automatically change all of the laws. That's not how they work. They tend to be pretty restricted in how they're applied. So this idea that she wrote this opinion, well, now that means everything's going to be changed. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Guns can be kept out of the hands of the dangerous, and it didn't say anything about other gun safety or background check. Those are all issues that are being litigated across the country and were not at issue in Cantor.
But supplanting the legislator's judgment about when dangerous people should be protected from themselves if they are potential suicides, as Vic Bencomo, a veteran in Iraq, found when his friend was going to take his life. The emergency risk protection order would have been available, deciding what is dangerous, who is dangerous, when weapons should be taken away from them. If the courts are going to supplant the judgments of legislatures, if judges are going to legislate from the bench, that's the import.
You want Dick Blumenthal wants judges to legislate from the bench all the time. There isn't a federal law on abortion. They legislated that from the bench. They created it from the bench. Dick Blumenthal wants that. He just doesn't want her to do it. God. Oh, this is so infuriating.
Of your reasoning in that dissent. It may not have dealt precisely with any of these particular laws, but the reasoning throws into doubt. It raises the risk to many of them. And
no, it doesn't.
Folks who live in Connecticut are terrified of that prospect, at least many who talk to me.
Sandy Hook was a tragedy. So I express the deepest sympathy for those who experienced that loss there and elsewhere. But Cantor, I hope you take some comfort from Cantor being a much narrower decision that doesn't have any effect on those sorts of laws. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Senator Hirano.
Oh, God. Oh, it's over. That was... Look, I suffered through it, so I made you guys suffer through it. That's how it went. That's what you have to deal with. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. But that's what had to happen. What had to happen. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know how these people run the country. They're the dumbest people in any room they walk into. They're the dumbest people on the planet. Okay. Let's do super chats, then we'll wrap up the show. God, that was freaking idiocy. I don't know what to say. I'm just annoyed. I'm just annoyed. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. I'm also half looking for the movie we're going to watch tonight. I'm not sure what to watch tonight. What do you guys want to watch tonight? Let me know. Horror movie month still. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Do these chats, and then we'll figure out. It's got to be on Prime. That's the rule of the movie. Got to be on Amazon Prime. Crusader Saracen says, Trump doesn't need a mic to project. He has a presence that Biden couldn't possibly hope to overcome. Well, I mean, the main thing about the debates, having the mic muting thing, we know Trump won. We know Trump won. High Tension is on Prime? Is it? High Tension. No, that's on IMDb. That's not Prime. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I wish it was. But it's not. So, other suggestions are welcome. The movie is the Anime Night Shift Nurse. All right, let's keep going. These Hand says, the Colombian government, sorry, Drex, you can't come to our country. Not because you might have the coof, but because you're black. Watch the Ghost Stories dub to get that reference. Oh, no. Oh, no. Kermit the Frog says, suck my jelly bean. Where do I have sex? Wherever I choose, bitch. You can tell where I've taken your mom if I use the black light. Had the hoe dripping like drool out of Russell Greer's mouth. Hunter and I did a fat line off that granny ass. Oh my gosh. We've done Fright Night. Oh, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Let's do that. Let me check it real quick. Yeah, I've never seen it. That's kind of a horror movie. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is not on Prime. Damn it, guys. This is not... It's got to be free on Prime. Let me clarify. It's got to be free on Prime. On Prime. Not on Monsters and Nightmares. Not on Shudder. Not on HBO. Not on Showtime. It has to be on Prime. The Thing? No. Yes, I'm sure. I know that it's on IMDb. Twitch's integration requires it be on Prime Video, not included with a different subscription other than Prime Video, including IMDb. And The Thing is on Showtime. We can't do it. Can't do it. Wishmaster? We could do Wishmaster. Let's do Wishmaster. There we go. Knight of Obeck says, the excuse for why you can see Monica's penis is because horses aren't allowed to wear clothes. Fat as she is, it's usually hidden behind the hind legs, but every now and then she spots the churro truck, and the neighbors have to cover their kids' eyes. Oh, God. Crusader Saracen says, does the interior of a wood chipper count as a dark place? Let's find out. Silky Johnson says, Nick, you should open a Chaircoon OnlyFans for one of several reasons. First, the lulz, and then the salt. Can you imagine a chair getting more followers than a bunch of half-naked thoughts? Chef kiss. Then take the money and donate it to a worthy charity. These hands. Says, dude, who the actual fuck masturbates fully nude? Look, I only masturbate fully nude. We've done Night of the Demons and we've done Children of the Corn. That's why we haven't done them. We've done Cabin in the Woods. We're gonna do Wishmaster. That's the movie tonight. Wishmaster tonight. Knight of Obeck says, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the election simulation held by the Transition Integrity Project, which is funded by the Open Society and the CCP. They're basically planning treason, a straight-up coup, to see what they could do if Biden loses. Knight of Obeck says, I know you don't like doomsaying, but this is the first time I've ever seen the other side literally riot in the streets and plan a fucking civil war if they don't get their way. And they did it in the 60s, too. Might actually have to divide the country up and kill each other this time. And Phobic says, don't get me wrong, it's definitely not what I want. God help us if it happens. But that being a real possibility is as bewildering as it is terrifying. I agree. It's always possible. But I get real hesitant on saying this never happened before. The 60s, 68, man, was full of riots. High tensions, people on both sides. And we kind of forget that. Six Hedon says, hey Nick, the new Oculus VR is out and it requires you to log into Facebook. I wouldn't get an Oculus. Facebook is banning accounts, new and old, as we're so close to the election, rendering many people's $300 headsets useless. Can you explore this topic and its relation to Section 230? There's a more interesting sort of right to hardware and right to repair topic that should be explored. I need to bring in someone who's kind of an expert on it. I think Louis Rossman's a good guy. I don't know if I can get him on the show, but I'll try. I would love to talk to him about that. Because it's the PlayStation thing, right? PlayStation 3 was marketed as you could install Linux on it and use it as a computer. It's actually a dual boot operating system machine. And they dropped support for that, including going as far as to saying that doing it would violate the terms of use of your hardware. And that's the weirdest thing to me. That you could have terms of use associated with hardware. And of course, the big place this is starting to come into play is cars. Eventually, like, your car will be just a fucking license agreement to use the software that's embedded in the hardware. And that's crazy. Like, oh, you can't modify your car in this way, or this way because it's not compatible with our software. That would be modifying your license agreement and your terms of use. No, thank you. I bought the car. I paid for all the hardware. So, I'd love to talk to Louis Rossman about these sort of questions. Maybe I can get a discussion with him. Crusader Saracen says, I hope ACB doesn't recuse herself, if only out of prudence. Because a 4-4 split in this election will be bad for all parties involved. Look, it depends on the matter. It depends on the matter and whether recusal is appropriate. That's why she's not committing to it. I think she might, for the integrity of the court. If there's any sort of question about her appointment, she might recuse herself. But that's a question to be decided at the time and based on the facts of the case. Also, I feel sorry for her because listening to Blumenthal talk feels like shoving a barbed fish hook down my urethra. Oh, God. Manavovek says, as for this kid in the ACA, one kid with a disease means the rest of us have to live in an authoritarian gulag where the government rations healthcare, taxes us at 80% and spies on us daily. Let him die. Can't justify our slavery and misery for his care. And that sounds cold, but that is the proposition of the Bill of Rights. Is that, look, sorry that people might die if you own guns. You have a right to own guns. Sorry that people might be hurt by your speech. You have a right to free speech. I'm sorry that criminals may walk free with a right to due process. Criminals might walk free. That's how it goes. Nick Ricada says, I would have walked in and bought a box of Magnum condoms, thus demonstrating that I have a monster dong. Got my Magnum condoms. I got my was of 100s. I'm ready to plow. Several days later. Oh, whoops. I dropped my monster condom that I use on my Magnum dong. A legit ACB dissent letter says, I say, hey, Sky Subba. Say I want to see pray to Jay. I did the same ol'. Hey, knock yourself a pro slick gray matter backlot. Take TCB and man. Know what they say. See abroad to get that booty action. Leg her down a smack. Yakum. Hold got to be, shit. I don't know what that is. I don't know anything. Crusader Saracen says, you need to watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil with Drex. Absolutely great horror comedy. I'd love to. I thought it was on Prime, but it's not. Crusader Saracen says, I confess, Nick, I may have started the trend of donating as Kermit the Frog. I've done it several times weeks ago. But for the past few weeks, I swear it's been other people entirely keeping Kermit alive and destroying your voice. Lol, sorry. Hey, thanks. Thanks. Oh, that's from Airplane? Is that the Jive guy talking? Oh, my God. Crusader Saracen says, you ever been to the Minnesota State Fair? Yes, regrettably. I hate going. It's always hot. There's too many people. I don't like it. Mainly because I have to bring 5 kids with me. It's a nightmare dragging kids around in the heat. They don't like it. They don't like walking all day. Nothing but complaining. Mostly from me. I hear they have a stand where they literally sell chocolate chip cookies by the bucket. Yeah. Sweet Martha's cookies. They're mediocre cookies. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, they're the best cookies ever. They're not. They're not the best cookies ever. They're mediocre chocolate chip cookies. They're good because they're warm and fresh, and that's about it. About an hour later, they're just kind of crappy chocolate chip cookies. They're fine. It's great to get a big-ass bucket of them and go get a glass of milk and sit there, dunk and eat. But they're just moderately good cookies. Fighting Slug. The Minnesota State Fair is sometimes like 95 degrees, dude. It can be brutal. And there's just not many places to go and get out of that. When you have a heat allergy like me, anything above 74, 75 degrees is a nightmare. Mario Carter 13 says, Kermit, women only care about an anime dong when it's inserted into an anime boy hole. Take it from me. I get fisted for a living. Gross. Balls Monkey says, Nips Ricada. 200 Watt Studio says, I'm just Toobin, Nick, who whacks it at your PC. The Atomisk says, Ron wants to see voice actors' dongs, all of them. Mario Carter 13 says, inverse proportion dong size versus willing to show. Bad Vibe says, for your Space Marine, go find Gold Leaf for it. What, make it like a Custodes? Phoenix Lord Asterman says, speaking of 40K, did you get that vid I sent you with the animated 40K universe? Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I got it. I wanted to watch it the other day, and then I lost track of it. Looks like Space Marine and Eldar stories first. I'm hyped. I am hyped, too. I want more I want more Games Workshop content in all mediums. I do. Even if it's bad, I want them to keep doing it because eventually they'll do good stuff. Javier Miedo says, hey, Boomer. You had to choose between having Kamala Harris or Justin Trudeau or Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton as president. Who would you choose? I said I'd leave. Let me give a better answer. I'd pick Hillary Clinton because out of the 4, she's the manliest one. Ross Wolf says, gonna cover the Dragonlance authors suing Wizards of the Coast for canceling their new trilogy for being too white? Yes. Yes, I'm going to cover that. I read the Seasons Dragons book, Dragons of Autumn, whatever, Dragons of Winter Morning, was it Autumn Twilight, Spring Dawn, Summer Day, or whatever. I read all those books a long time ago. I really liked them. They're fun books, and I like the Dragonlance guys. Anime Moon says, stop protecting pedos, Susie Q. Stop it. DCV Titan says, you hear Wizards of the Coast is being sued by Dragonlance duo? Yes. Isis Donich Dom says, Sargon is asking if the child consented to those pics. Mega Lone Wolf 20 says, Nick, you need to look up the Dragonlance versus Wizards of the Coast lawsuit. Apparently this is on everybody's mind. Apparently this is on everyone's mind. Nope, what was a joke? Cybertaz says, did you see the 2019 body cam footage of George Floyd getting detained while he was crying, calling the officer boss, and trying to eat what he had? No. Maddie P on the road says, drinking age mostly only went up because the federal government withheld road money from states, didn't raise the age. Missed you, bud. Yes, and that decision is actually a really important decision because it's complete shit. It's complete shit. 200 Watt Studio says, Toobin, I thought no one on the Zoom call could see me. I thought I had muted the Zoom video. An appropriate time for an okay boomer, lol. I can just say Don on yours? Okay. Gotcha. 10 Ken says, desperate move, Chris. Everyone knows that the first time you show your piece is in person. The phone just makes it look smaller. Death Trout says, someone get the wood chipper. Chase Weiler just sent a vomit face. Kit says, let's say you misclick on a chat and accidentally send an explicit image to a minor. How effed are you, and what's the best course of action other than deleting everything ASAP? There is no better course of action. Delete everything ASAP. Then pray. Then find religion. Maybe move. Mario Carter 13 says, I have a feeling he wanted an inside opinion. Gross. DCV Titan says, this is the kind of dude you could go to a police station, march up to the police chief, put a magnum in the back of his head, and paint the office with his brains, and go to prison with a smile. Ring Wraither says, sorry I came in late. Who the hell is this POS? That is a Funimation voice actor. Dominic Shrippa says, can we make an anime of this? Yes. It'll just have more killing, hopefully. DCV Titan says, sending a pic on Discord is 3 button presses. Look, listen. Don't think too hard about it. Don't think too hard about it. It just happened when his phone went in his pocket. Tyrannosaurus Rex says, I one day hope to have children, but it's stuff like this that boils my blood and makes me fear having a daughter. Too much out there trying to corrupt them. Look, man, you got to keep them off of Discord. You got to keep them off of messaging services as much as possible. There are good ones that you have a lot of control over. Use those. Other than that, don't let them on there. There's no reason. Oh, my friends have it. Too fucking bad. Your friends are stupid. Just say that to them. Jonathan Harvin says, Chris Thurman needs to eat a lead sandwich, 50 BMG meal with extra 12-gauge buckshot side. Malachi Gaming says, FBI, he sent what to a minor? Kramer voice, he's a pedo! Kick him out! He's a pedo! I don't know what Kramer voice that is. Like Kramer from Seinfeld? I don't know it. 99 Kresnik says, part 1 from inventor of the telephone on Kiwi Farm. Exhibitionism is one thing, but there's a point where a fetish goes too far. Mario Carter 13, members of the press, and Toobin's member. 99 Kresnik says, part 2. If you're wanking in front of Masha Gussin, you've reached that point. Masha, my face when he whips it out while I'm role-playing is Donald Trump. Part 3 and final says, also, apparently OJ fired some shots at him too. Sorry for cutting into parts. Also, apparently he's a longtime friend of Kagan too. Yeah, I'm sure he is. That's not surprising to me at all. CNN legal analyst, longtime friend of Elena Kagan. Not surprised. Malachi Gaming says, Jeff Toobin be like, hey guys, it's Pee-wee. That says, in Toobin's defense, when he heard they were doing an election simulation, he thought they said erection simulation. Hashtag S Cybertest says, Toobin was just playing Fappy Bird. Ultra 65 says, so it turns out DSP is qualified to work at the New Yorker. No! Oh no, Sakagi Onsai says, the funny thing is that the press has actually spent more time talking about Jeff Toobin's sex drive compared to Hunter Biden's hard drives. Hashtag priority. Bad Dragonite says, Toobin showing off his Toobin in a Zoom call. Toobin be Toobin on a Zoomin. 200 Watt Studio says, Toobin was on Twitch or OnlyFans. Thane Cawdor says, Toobin already has an illegitimate child. His CNN side piece refused an abortion. Damn. Senora de Mendoza says, there was actually a judge once who got busted using a penis pump under his bench while in court. Why wouldn't you? That's what the judge's robes are for. Crusader Saracen says, on second thought, I regret nothing. Other people coming up with Kermit the Frog dirty quotes is hilarious and worth the expense of your voice. And Tell Me Mike says, has the voice actor creep faced any legal ramifications? No, it just came to light like today or yesterday. So no, we'll see if he does. Who knows? Austin M says Blumenthal looks like a raisin with Parkinson's. Pete's face says, how does she keep a straight face with these wangless trolls insulting her to her face and not even try to hide it? The woman has the patience of a saint. Because she learned from Scalia. She knows she's smarter than them. She knows that they're politicians and that they're intent on making a point. The insults don't matter to her. She also probably knows she's going to get confirmed outside of a major screw up, because she's not a screw up, apparently. About all it takes. Phoenix Lord Asterman says, as a kid, I always figured the idea of evil being good, vice versa, was absurd. But here we are with people shaming people who believe in life. Not saying there aren't times when parents have to make a horrible choice, but that's not what abortion advocates are even fighting for. I'll give you guys a little bit of Racket's lore. One of our pregnancies, I believe it was our 4th child. A bad dad for not. I believe it was our 4th child. The doctor scanned. You know, we did an ultrasound. Now we had 3 miscarriages before we had any babies, and we did a lot of fertility stuff at first. We didn't need them for later kids. Doctors kind of figured out what was going on, and we had appropriate care for the later kids. All right, but because of those early miscarriages and because of fertility stuff, we had very thoroughly monitored pregnancies. We had more ultrasounds than people normally get. We had them all the time. Lots of ultrasound, like every 2 weeks. I think it was the 4th kid. We had an ultrasound early on, and it was potentially, based on the view of the ultrasound, what's called a corneal pregnancy. And that is where the fertilized egg implants right where the fallopian tube meets the uterus. If it does that, as the baby grows, it will rupture the uterus. It will rupture it at the connection. And the mom will die. Like, there's not like a do not pass. It's a do not pass go. Like, you don't live through it. There's not like, we'll carry the baby to term or anything like that. Now, thankfully, in our case, the scan looked like that, but it wasn't correct. It was a bad angle. And as things progressed, we could see that wasn't the case. So it was good for us. But we are very, very pro-life. Very pro-life. My wife is probably more pro-life than I am, which is weird to think that there's someone more pro-life than me. But she's like, she would actually say, let the baby live. If it's a choice, she would say, let the baby live. That's how Lady Rackets has always been. From the moment we first discussed it, been consistent through all the pregnancies. But a corneal implantation or an ectopic pregnancy, there isn't like a let the baby live. It's like not, it's very likely not going to. High percentage. Now, it depends on where it implants. It's possible, but almost all of them. Okay. So we spent it was like 4 to 6 weeks where we had to discuss very candidly. We had to discuss, what do we do if it turns out this way? Because it would go against all of our values to terminate the pregnancy. But it wouldn't just be like, oh, you terminate the pregnancy and move on. They would have to actually excise like that quadrant of the whatchamacallit, uterus. It'd be a partial hysterectomy. We had to really wrestle with that. My point in this story is that these questions are really, really hard sometimes. Those are exceedingly rare cases. They're exceedingly rare cases. And those cases can be dealt with outside of the law. And it's really disingenuous and shitty for people to bring them to an abortion. Well, what about the case? Like, okay, no doctor on earth is going to consign a mother to death. Like, because that's what, baby's not going to live, and the mother will probably die too if we don't do something about this. That's not an abortion. It's a very different thing than an abortion that everyone's talking about. And so to like try and, oh man, we really don't want this to happen. It's so disingenuous and it's shit. And these people are garbage. They're bad people. They're bad people. So, you know, like the thought that pro-life people don't have these troubles and don't have these questions and don't have these discussions is just not true. Not true. So anyway, I want to like identify with you guys and let you know that these are issues that we've had to tackle personally, and they're very, very scary. So yeah, it's a real thing, but they can be solved. Like, this stuff can be fixed. Laws don't have to be this broad and heartless. They can take the human condition into consideration. And that's where judges shine. That's where judges should shine. The one-offs. And that's not what they're actually after. They're always after abortion on demand. They never care about the less than 1% who have a medically necessary abortion. And here's the thing. Doctors don't refer to them as medically necessary abortions because it's not an abortion when it's medically necessary. It's not the same thing. It's a different thing. They want drive-through abortions. That's what they've always wanted. They're always pushing for. They just use the extreme argument to tug at the heartstrings and make an emotional plea. Deadshaw says, in my opinion, until the adoptive foster system is improved, abortion is a must if the parents ain't going to love their kid. From what I've seen, kids in the foster system have horrible lives more often than not. Yeah, and that's has a lot to do with because of what they've done to private abortions. Private abortion is expensive. It's hard. It's ridiculous. It's crazy how difficult it is. The costs involved are off the charts. There's no support for it. They've made private abortion cost tens of thousands of dollars to families. It shouldn't. It shouldn't do that. This is entirely a product of what the government has done to the abortion and foster care system to justify the abortion system. Make no mistake. It's intentional. Private adoptions cost a fortune. Public adoptions cost a fortune. And it's because of the regulations they've put in place. Yeah, I meant adoption. I got it. You guys got it too. Mario Carter 13 says the Democrats aren't big fans of dissent. Bad Vibe says Richard got his legal education from Shane the Shoe Eater. Austin Heartless says hashtag jerk it for Jeff. Yes. Matt Field says TDS has really rotted the brains of our leaders. Bad Vibe says I'm convinced that people said Clinton was the worst candidate the DNC could offer. DNC said challenge accepted and put forth Biden. No one important. Said, I hate Nick for putting me through the man's insufferable emotional debating. As bad as Kamala. No, Kamala didn't even ask any questions. At least Blumenthal did. And I hate that these people are in charge of deciding things. Tyrannosaurus Rex says Hereditary is on Prime. Decent modern horror. Don Palmera says they removed Linux because people found jailbreaks and so few people were using it. If you wanted to keep using it, you could remain on old firmware. I don't care if people jailbreak stuff. Like, I don't care if someone takes an iPhone and jailbreaks it and puts their own custom OS on. Why would I care about that? Why should I care? I don't care. Like, if you buy the hardware and you go, the software is shit, I want my own. What does that do? What harm is that? Like, here they're jailbroken Amazon Fire Sticks. Okay. If you're doing something illegal with it, that's illegal. But if you're just taking the hardware and repurposing it, why do we have a problem with that? And Sign for Warrior says there was already a 4-4 split for Pennsylvania case today. Yep, that's, Pennsylvania will now accept votes in one of the most hotly contested and important battleground states. They will accept votes up to 3 days after the election. That'll be fine, though. Dominic P. says, do you think Minnesota can go red this election? It's possible. It's unlikely. Bad Dragonite says, 30 Days of Night, Wishmaster, and Teeth are on AP. Teeth is on there? Oh, no. Austin M. says, have you watched the Astartes series on YouTube? Yes, love it. Want more? Want more? Fighting Slug says, it was 90 today in San Antonio, but I'm acclimated to it. I remember being in Northern California, we'd have it get up to 80 a few days a year, and it was bad. No, in Minnesota, like where I live, we get to the upper 90s, we get to the low 100s pretty much every year. It's rare we get to a year where we don't have a 100-degree day or two. It's not like Texas, of course, but it does get pretty hot up here. 99 Kresnik says, on the topic of 40K, Hell's Reach on YouTube is pretty good for black and white fan-made animation. Angry Baneling says, praise Nick and Lady Rackets. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. That's the thing. Come over to Twitch. Come join. We're going to watch a movie. We might watch two. The second one will be Degenerate. It'll be great. The first movie is going to be Wishmaster. Wishmaster, okay? Come over onto Twitch if you want to do a watch party with us. If you have Amazon Prime, just watch a movie along. We get the commentary going. It's kind of like Mystery Science Theater with a less funny host. But also a much more red-pilled and based and black-pilled and murder-pilled host than MST 3 Cucks. Night of Hopex says, plenty of people's parents don't love them and they're happy to be here. Kind of nonsense argument. Even if someone's life is not ideal, it can still be made better. Even a tragic life can be fulfilling if someone overcomes their difficulties. I tend to agree. I don't voice that on people, but I would rather people be alive and have the opportunity for happiness than just be dead. That's me. Kate 4394 says, absolutely love and respect for you and Lady Rackets. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do is attend a funeral for a baby. Oh my God. Kate. One of my relatives had a stillbirth at 27 weeks. That's a fully developed baby. It was a freak accident, basically a clamp in the tube. The cord, the umbilical cord, clamped up, and blood flow to the baby just stopped. It was complete, no signs of it. Perfectly healthy baby, healthy mom. Umbilical cord kinked, shut off blood flow to the baby, died. You know, in like an hour. It actually had an ultrasound in the morning, and the baby was alive. It was awful. Awful, awful, awful. Yeah, I had to go to that funeral, and it was tough. So yeah, heartbreaking stuff. All right, guys, come over to Twitch. I'm gonna play the outro now. Come over to Twitch and hang out. I'll see you in a little bit. Have a good night, guys. Sorry to bring it down right at the end, but life, man. Deal with some shit sometimes. Catch you guys over on Twitch. If not, I'll catch you tomorrow. Stream will have some good stuff. Have a good night, guys. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes madder, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art bag, a bow, more of love Freud. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dundee to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are